are live. Let's see. How's the audio sounding? Can you try to speaking if you could hear yourself? It's on. It's live. Do you hear yourself? Are live. Let's see. How's the audio sounding? Can you try to speaking if you could hear yourself? It's on. It's live. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. So let's try to figure out the sound real quick. So I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if you could hear you now. Let's see. Let's try it. Maybe it should be able to. And if it doesn't, I don't understand why. Do you still not hear yourself? Fuck what the hell? Device. Wait, speak now.
Hello?
Oh, I got it.
That worked?
I think it did. Start listen, because it shows that your voice is talking.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Oh, yeah, it works.
Okay, we're live. Let me bring it back up to the main page. You see that? The podcast cover?
Huh?
You see the podcast cover right there? Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, now it's on.
All right.
Bet.
We are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. Today we are doing a podcast for the hype for The Last of Us Part 2. I'm here with Cayden, and today we're going to be doing, we have a few lists set up for our favorite moments, our favorite parts, and our favorite characters in The Last of Us, the first game, just to get ready for tomorrow. You know, big day.
Big old day.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with the seasons in the game. Now, the seasons in the game are that's like basically how the whole game is paced. There's 4 seasons in a year. Starts off in summer, ends off in spring, like full year. So we're going to start by ranking each section of the game with that. So
For sure.
let me hide the cover, and then here's my background. Okay, so at number 4, would you like to go first? What is your number 4 spot? Like your last, like this was like not the best portion of the game. It's still good, obviously. The whole game's good.
Oh, yeah, because the entire game is fucking great.
Exactly.
I'd have to say my number 4 on my list is spring.
Oh, spring. Yeah. I think I'd have to agree with that. You know,
yeah.
We could combine this one because I said the same thing. Mainly because it's so short. I mean,
yeah,
falls short too, but like when it came to like
I got a couple good moments in spring. Like what you have up on the screen, the giraffe scene. That's a
brilliant,
wonderful scene. Man.
Obviously the big choice at the end for Joel.
Yeah.
Whether he's gonna save Ellie or not. Yeah, that is a big deal. But again, I don't think, because everything before it is leading up to that, and I feel like that's a lot more interesting. Not exactly. Yeah, it just has.
It's more about the journey.
Yeah, the journey, exactly. And the ending is still great. We're not saying it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. So that's at the number 4 spot.
I just don't think it's as like pumped with content as the other seasons could be.
Exactly.
Well, as the other seasons are.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
All right. So the number 3 spot, you go again. What do you think?
Summer. I'd say summer.
Oh, summer, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Want to explain why? This is the longest section, by the way.
Because yeah, I know. Because fall and summer, they kind of were like kind of the same. Because that you could probably make your assumption off of what I just said, that saying that my number 1 was probably the last remaining season. But it was kind of just deciding between fall and summer, and I don't know what made.
What about winter? What about winter?
Well, yeah, winter's my
Oh, okay, okay.
numero uno.
Let's just wait, and we'll get there
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
second. We'll get there in a second, okay?
But yeah, I don't know what led to my decision for summer to be my uh my number three spot.
Do you think there wasn't enough there for you to?
No, it was definitely the longest. It was the longest season, if I'm not correct, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. It is
Okay,
like
okay.
it is about if I get this right, it is like half of the game at least.
Yeah, yeah, with like Bill and okay,
Because you
yeah.
got, so if you think about it, you got you start with Tess, or you could say
Hmm.
the prologue, but the prologue
Oh,
doesn't count. You start with Tess, and then
yeah.
you go to Bill, and then it's just you and Ellie in Philadelphia for a little while, and then you meet
Hmm.
Henry, and then that's the end. After Henry, you're done. That's a lot. That is a lot, and
Ooh,
people don't think about
ooh.
that. They don't think it's all in the same time, but it is.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking that the Henry scene was or the Henry dilemma was in summer, but
It
it
is.
was.
Yeah.
It
I when I was
was.
going over, I was like,
Ooh.
holy shit, this is so long. I was like, wow.
Man, I might have to do a little switcheroo
Oh yeah.
there.
Okay. What do you want to switch for your number 3 spot?
Fall number three, summer number two.
So, fall is number 3. So,
Yeah.
what originally made you like fall? Without going, maybe if there's a special scene, don't go too in depth because we have a special part later for that. But is there a reason why originally you chose fall over?
Um, not coming to head like straight to my head, but
You thought they were pretty equal at first, obviously. That's what
yeah,
it sounded
yeah.
like. Okay, yeah, I get that. That's reasonable. My number 3. Let me look at my notes real quick. So let me cover up fall. My number 3 is right here. My number 3 is also fall. Yeah, it is fall, and it's because I thought there's good moments, really good moments, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh, fall is also when
you meet Tommy. That's
Tommy.
the whole thing. That's
Yeah,
the whole
yeah, yeah.
premise is Tommy, and
Okay.
then they go to the university, and then after the university, that's
Yeah.
it for pretty much fall. It's just Tommy, and then the
It
university.
it switches over to winter before you. No, no, no. After you go to the
Yeah, after once
university.
Joel gets stabbed,
Yeah.
that's actually not. I'll get there in a minute. Once Joel gets stabbed, he is out like for the rest of
Immobilized,
that
and
season.
that's where Left Behind picks up.
Yeah, yes, right. And then you see Ellie as winter starts doing stuff and trying to help him in the mall, and then they get out, and then she
Yeah.
meets David, my boy David.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's my choice for number 3.
All right. Sounds good.
Number 2, you said was summer, and we already kind of went over that.
Summer. Yeah.
My number 2 is winter.
Oh, really?
I like winter a lot, especially. Sorry,
Mhm.
especially since the switch from Joel to Ellie. I didn't see that. No
Yeah.
one saw it coming. They lied to us. They were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're not going to be able to play Ellie." Like, no, why would you do that? And I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah." But yeah, I really liked it. And at first, I wasn't a huge fan of playing as Ellie. Obviously, she's a lot weaker when I was
Mhm.
younger. But
There are
now,
some things you couldn't
yeah,
do.
exactly. You can go up and punch a zombie in the face, which was
Mhm.
really fun to do. Instead, you had to be a lot quicker on your feet, and you have to be a lot more careful, sneaky. Yeah, exactly. But I learned that you could actually take advantage of Ellie in the winter section, and
Mhm.
that actually brought it down for me. I love taking advantage of her character, but like as gameplay goes on, it's not as fun for me anymore.
Mhm.
Because I don't know if you knew this, but the bloater, when you're with David and
Yeah.
you're together, and the bloater comes down, you could kill him in one shot. Did you know that?
For real?
So he jumps down from like this
Uh-huh.
roof. So if you aim at the wall as he's jumping
Yeah, I
down,
remember this scene.
yeah. If you shoot his leg while he's in midair falling down, his leg will come
Doesn't-
off and he'll die. His leg will come off completely and he'll die immediately.
Cool.
I don't think that was supposed to happen. Like I
Did
honestly.
you just figure it out?
No, I watched this speedrunner on YouTube, and he
Mhm.
kept doing it. And he's like, if you want to get through this as fast as possible, shoot the bloater's leg off right when he jumps down. I was like, holy shit,
Ooh.
that is insane. I did not see that coming.
Brain go boom because damn.
Because it was hard fighting him as Ellie, because he's a big guy, you're a little girl, like
Mhm.
it's tough. But then now it's as easy as one rifle shot to the leg once he jumps down. It has to be a rifle, by the way. It can't be anything else.
Oh yeah, of
And then
course.
also taking advantage of David when the zombies come at David. You just hide behind David.
Mhm.
They'll grab him, walk up behind the zombie, stab him. Easy. Stuff
Easy
like that. Obviously,
clap.
the humans in the game are a little bit harder, but either way. But the
Oh yeah,
story
of course,
elements
because
of Winter is really good. That's probably the best part. It's only the gameplay that brings it down to number 2. It probably would be number 1, I think, if the gameplay wasn't like that for me.
that's the reason why Winter is number one for me is because of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the story behind it.
Exactly, and it's super
There's a
good.
lot of moments because Ellie and Joel they get like not separated, but Ellie kind of has to be the leader of the bunch for however long,
Yeah.
pretty much the entire season. But Joel does come back later on in Winter.
Oh, and he comes
But
back hardcore, and that's
hard. That's on my list.
that's on my
dude. Let's
list.
not get
That's on
let's
my
not get
list.
too
Yeah.
into there.
Oh, my dad. Oh man. Okay. So, number 1 for me though. You said it's
Winter.
winter. You said it's winter,
Winter
and
for me.
we talked about that. Winter is your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But my number 1 is summer, and
Explain that to me, brother.
I like summer.
Is it mostly because of the gameplay?
It not only the gameplay, but it's about the people you meet. The journey with Ellie and Joel is more powerful there than I think throughout the rest of the game. I think the relationship is the strong. This is where they build it. This is where they're building it. You meet Bill, and Bill is when I go into Bill later. I'm gonna go into him a little bit later. Bill is a reflection of Joel, but I won't talk about that yet. But he is.
Okay.
Tess was a tutorial. I'm not gonna lie. I like Tess a lot, but her whole part of the game was tutorial. Like,
Yeah.
that was clear. And then when you're with just Joel and Ellie, there's really not. That's like one of the most iconic parts in the game when you're in. Is it Philly or is it Pittsburgh? It's Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
So when you're in Pittsburgh and it's just you and her, there's a lot of great moments just playing in gameplay, and it's really nice. I really like it a lot. And I think it's really interesting. And I think, and then you meet Henry and Sam, and that's good too. Good connection there. Another reflection of Joel and Ellie, actually, I'd say, because they're both. There's the
Yeah, I think it was the game's relation on how to reflect that there are other duos like this, like almost like a caretaker of one, and it kind of shows how maybe it showed Joel how he's being too overprotective because you could see how Henry was super overprotective over Sam, and that probably gave him like I don't know, realization that he should probably give Ellie a little bit more breathing room.
I think what it also was I think I almost think maybe the opposite, but not completely. I think that it's a reflection of how like kids cannot grow up in this. It's always the adults are always like, hey, these kids can't find themselves. So like Sam tried to pick up the toy. Remember that? He's like, oh, like it barely weighs anything. But Henry's like, I don't care how you become a person. I don't care how you I don't care that you have interests and stuff. I just want you to survive.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
That's kind of because he cares so much about his life that he'd rather, what do you say? He'd rather him not have a life to live, which is a reflection. I agree, it's a reflection of Joel. At the same time, it's not who Joel is at that time, because Joel is trying to not have connections with anybody. Because last time that happened, his daughter died, and he felt terrible. And
we all know that way.
And he doesn't. The whole point of Joel in this game is he doesn't want to build a relationship with Ellie. He's trying so hard not to. But again, we'll get into that later, not right now.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's my number 1 spot, and I really think that is the key moment in this game. This whole section.
I get that.
All right, so now we're going to be switching off to characters in the game. Top 5 characters to be specific. Now, before we do that, I wanted to ask, what is your favorite gun in the game? Like, what is your favorite weapon that you're like, I want to use this most of all? Like, this is my favorite.
For like a permanent weapon, I'd say
Not a permanent, but like when you're
no, like I'm talking like not like one of the sticks or like one of the pipes. Like I'm not talking about those.
I'm talking about like guns and stuff.
Guns,
like
okay,
ranged weapons. Like which weapon where you're like you're in a scuffle, right? And you're like
bow. 100% bow.
So I wish it was the bow for me. I really do. It's just the bow is just so misused in this game, I think. They give it to you at the wrong time. They give it to you when you meet Bill, and that is the loudest section of the game. There's no stealth because you're using shotguns. Because they introduce the bow, and then immediately after that, they introduce the shotgun. So then you end up using the bow later in the game, like as Ellie. That was a good portion. I really like that. But like throughout the game, it's really hard to use the bow. But whenever I get the chance, I'll try my best. It's the revolver for me though. I love the revolver. It is very reliable. The reloading is not too bad, and the range is really good, and the accuracy is really good.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I'm ever in a scuff, I'm just like, I'll pull out the revolver. I'll get some headshots. Like, really easy to get headshots. Other than that, obviously, the shotgun's pretty good, but it's just the range sucks ass. Just terrible.
Yeah. I think it would have to go bow, revolver, shotgun. Those are my top 3.
Bow, revolver. Yeah, I'd say that's similar to mine. I'd say the rifle was something that was on like all the art and stuff, but it's like I don't use it that much. It's only like
I don't think when I played the game, neither did I.
It's only like, oh, I need to pull something out. What do I got? Oh, whatever. Rifle's fine. Because the scope sucked too, by the way. The scope did not go much farther. It didn't zoom much in, but that's fine. But anyways, let's get into our top 5 favorite characters. Okay. So who is your number 5 pick for your top 5?
My number 5 is Bill.
Oh,
I think Bill.
Bill. There he is. Bill. Why? Why is Bill?
I think since in the summer, like I feel like that was one of the biggest characters I kind of came in contact to because they needed that car to go.
Right, the car.
Where'd their car
Pittsburgh.
like stop working?
Pittsburgh.
That's what it was.
It didn't stop working. It kind of crashed because the hunters attacked them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The big ambush scene. Mm-hmm. That's right after. Like, by the way, like I combine that. That's one of my scenes in the top 10. But I combine that with the car scene right before it because they work off each other. So yeah. But yeah.
I remember that car scene, and that car scene was kind of like pretty big.
Oh yeah, and there's a reason behind it.
You kind of get a glimpse into Joel's past too when he said that he knew that wasn't real because of what he did in his past. So that kind of like.
Right. Oh, exactly. Oh, when you're talking about how he said like he was a hunter as well.
Yeah. He was like Ellie. I think Ellie asked him a question. Was like,
he's like, "How'd you know that I just played it? Yeah. How did you know the ambush was gonna happen?" He's like, "I've been on both sides." That's all he says. That one line, and that just so much, like, I don't know, how do you say that? Like so much plot right there, like development.
Exactly.
Right there. There's so much given to you in just one sentence, and it's so good. And she's like, "Oh, like damn, like I see what you're saying." Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, so that's why Bill's your number 5, huh?
Yeah, I'd say Bill is a pretty pivotal character because he kind of sent Ellie and Joel on the journey.
He definitely aided them for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 5 pick is Marlene.
Marlene.
Yes, Marlene. Oh, that's the picture I used for her? Oh, I didn't remember that. Oh, well. Yeah, some of the pictures I couldn't get super good quality because I was doing it really quick. But yeah. Marlene's, like, it was really hard. I think I was stuck between did I put Henry down on this? I did not. I almost put Henry there, but I didn't. I decided not to because I thought Marlene had a little bit more interesting backstory. She is trying to find a cure. And to find that cure, she has to do... It's pretty impressive. I actually like her. She has to do the most selfless thing possible. Break her best friend's... Like, she made an oath to her best friend, I'll protect your daughter. And by doing that, that means not being a Firefly by staying in a safe zone, because it's safe. But now, your daughter has presented me with, oh, I'm the cure to humanity. I got to do it. It's I know I care about her, I care about you, but I have to do it because this is humanity, and it's really hard. It's a hard decision. It's almost an inhuman decision. Like, it's not, humans don't think like that normally. They're usually like, but she's like this leader and stuff, so I could see why she would. But like, normally it's like, oh no, I couldn't do that ever. Like in the situation, but she's like, no, I'll do it, and I care, but I have to. And I respect that. Yeah. That's the only reason why I put it at number 5, actually. Everything else, I don't... She's just the leader of the Fireflies. Not much to go off of after that. Not good, not bad. Just surviving like most people in this game. Yeah. So that's why she's at number 5.
Mm-hmm.
So number 4, what did you put down?
This is gonna surprise you because you said that you almost put Henry at 5. I actually put him at 4.
Oh shoot!
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Okay, that's a good quality photo.
And I kind of put him like a joint between Henry and Sam, but because I'd say Sam was kind of a building block of Henry's character.
That's true. Man, I regret kind of not putting him on the list, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
I just think with how short of a time that Henry's in the game and with you, he definitely leaves a mark on the player, especially me.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you said, how he just wants to protect, he just wants his brother to live, and how he has this like systematic way of living that kind of reflects Joel in a way, because Joel is very like, got to get to the point, got to get to where we need to go.
Joel uses that as I noticed that when Ellie ever tries to open up, make a connection, she's like, what do you think? And he's like, I think we need to keep moving. Like, he keeps doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care.
He kind of uses it as a let's go.
He probably does, but he's like, I can't. I'm not allowed to because it's bad. So let's just keep going. Yeah. But I see what you mean. Yeah, I like. Yeah. Henry's. This was really tough to make a top 5, and I think it would have been too difficult to make a top 10. So I think a 5 is better. I like to lower the numbers, but obviously with moments that there needed to be a top 10.
There are too many moments.
There's so many. Even at a top 10, I was like, I have to get rid of some of these moments. Like, I have to actually say, hey, I don't want this one. Like, but I like your choice for Henry. I really respect that. That's a really good choice.
Yeah.
All right. My number 4 spot is, let me look. I have to look at my phone. I forgot what I put. I think I put David. David. Love David. Almost put him at number 3, but there was someone better I put at number 3.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion. And it's, yeah. So
let me just say my top 3 are pretty generic. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No big deal. I actually don't know who your number 3 is, but don't tell me. Actually, I have an idea. But David, the reason why I like David so much is because so this scene, if you can see it on screen, right? What I'm showing?
Yeah. That scene with the campfire and how he breaks to him that he's
yeah, he's like, oh, I know who you are this whole time, pretty much. You're the girl with the guy. He doesn't lie to her one time, not a single time. That's not normal for a bad guy to do. He tells her the truth. He helps her. He technically, this is from like Nolan North, the actor who plays him, who also plays Nathan Drake in Uncharted, if you didn't know. He said, like, playing the character, he did not lie. He actually does nothing wrong. Now, Ellie thinks like, oh, okay, he knows who I am. That's the big dangerous thing. But he gives her the medicine. He does everything. He's actually not a good guy, obviously, but he hasn't done anything bad to Ellie specifically. And obviously
he actually wants it to work.
Yeah.
Like, he wants it to work.
And another example was in the he doesn't see her. So people, what you're supposed to think is what Ellie thinks when you're in the cage. Hey, oh, he's kind of rapey. Also, he's a cannibal, but like besides that, he's kind of rapey. And it's like, well, no, that's not how. That's how you're supposed to see it. But that's not how David sees it. That's what Nolan North said. David sees it as Ellie is someone who you could count on. She knows how to. She's smart. She's skillful, and she can definitely. Like, when it comes down to it, she could be his predecessor. Is that the right word? Yeah. Like, when he's gone, she could take charge. That's what he thinks. He has that much faith in this girl he just met because she's so skilled. And he really admires her for that. Now, it is in a really weird way that he admires her, but it's an interesting way. And then once she's like, she breaks his finger, he's like, I didn't want to do this, but now you're going to see the bad side of me. And now he becomes what the monster he truly is, and she always knew him to be. And it gets violent. It gets really violent.
Really violent.
Yeah.
And it ends in an even violenter way.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's why he's my favorite. He's my 4th favorite. Yeah, he's my 4th because I just found him really, really interesting as a character, and it's extra shock value. It took me years to find out he was played by Nolan North because I played Uncharted before I played this. So I was like, this is Nathan Drake. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
This is Nathan Drake.
Yeah, yeah. So it's crazy, but yeah, that's my number 4. So down to the number 3 spot. Who is your third pick? I don't know. I think I know, but I don't know. So,
This is kind of generic, but I'm gonna have to say Tommy.
okay. That's what I thought
Tommy's
you were
my
gonna
number 3.
say. That's what I thought. There's Tommy right there.
Tommy's my number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy is referenced throughout the entire game, like pretty much in everything.
Well, he's at the beginning too.
Yeah, he's in the beginning. He's with Joel when Sarah dies. He's obviously before the game picked up in summer, they had some sort of connection. Joel and Tommy both had some sort of connection, whether they were bandits together or
Oh, they're brothers.
like
That's
that.
the key thing.
Yeah, of course, they're brothers.
As far as I know, Tommy was never a firefly. Oh, sorry, he was never a hunter because he's a firefly.
Oh, that's true.
But that doesn't mean they haven't done bad things before that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And hunters and fireflies from factions like the multiplayer mode, I'd like to think that Hunter would never become a firefly, but Joel would never become a firefly. He would most likely become a hunter like he did. You know. So yeah, for sure. But yeah, Tommy's cool. I like Tommy a lot. Actually, he is. I feel like when it comes to his mental health, he is really good. But Joel has a lot of problems. You know, just like with coping and stuff, you know, yeah.
For sure.
I mean,
Joel's a little bit emotionally unstable, I would say. Like he likes to try to be the big tough guy, but sometimes
you just can't. You can't help yourself. You're human.
Can't.
He just doesn't. You know, he tries really hard not to feel emotions, which is bad. It's weird. It's not a good thing to do, but it's what he tries to do.
He's bottling up.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and Tommy. Think about Tommy. Tommy's the only one who understands Joel. No one else understands Joel.
That's true.
At least I think you could say Ellie might by the
Ellie
end of the
eventually.
Game. By the end of the game, when he lied, come on, we all know that Joel. She knows Joel lied to her. Like that's.
She's not. That's the reason. You could kind of see the expression in her face too. When he told him, Joel told Ellie, like, it was completely this. It was there are other people out there. You kind of see in her face that she's like, nah. Yeah,
she's like, okay, yeah, sure. That's what she said. She does, okay,
sure, bud.
Yeah, but yeah. So when like, I feel like when it comes down to it, he was ready to take Ellie off his hands because he's like, yo, yeah, I see what this is. Exactly. This is a repeat, and I don't want. Even though you're a dick, that's what he's thinking. Even though you're a dick, Joel, I know you can't handle that again. So I'm gonna help you out. Yeah.
And you could also see when I think Tommy tries to bring up his daughter with the picture, right?
Yeah, and then Joel goes, "I'm good." I'm like, "Bro, that's your daughter,
bro. You got to face your past, man."
That's just another example, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tommy was trying to exercise that and trying to make him better, by showing him that picture. But I don't think he realized that it was going to hurt him that bad.
I didn't think. He didn't. He wasn't fully there yet.
Because it was years. It was years. It was years after.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And yeah, like so, it's just another example of Joel being like, "Oh, no emotion, can't have that. Bad emotion equals bad." Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Tommy's a good character. Really hard. Really wanted to put him on this list, but I still thought there was, this is your number 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh,
completely agreeable.
Wait, what was my number 3? Oh, I haven't said it yet. Right. Right. So, my number 3 is Bill. I like Bill.
Bill?
I think it's Bill.
Bill?
And it's like, what's so great about Bill? He's just a jerk who just gives you a car.
Cares about his stuff.
Cares about his stuff. All he cares about is himself. He's gay, which I didn't understand until I was like a few years older after the game came out.
Yeah. I was like his partner.
Eventually, I was like, I because the magazine scene in the car didn't make sense to me when I was younger. I was like, why is it dudes?
Why you got a magazine of a giant?
And then I'm like, oh, gay exists. So I was like, oh, that's right. So then it clicked eventually for me, and my mind was blown. I was like, "Holy crap! They did that so well. Like it was so subtle."
See, that's a good example of how to
naturally do it.
Naturally put a character that is part of that community.
Exactly, I agree.
Not like any of these other games where they're like, "Hey, he's gay." I mean, just so you know, he's gay.
Hey, guess what? Hey, did you know he's gay? Like, yeah, I get it. Like you could it honestly completely ruins a game on
overly exemplifying that this person is of that community.
Yeah, I think there's a game. I can't remember the name.
I remember you were talking about.
Life is Strange 2
Yeah.
tried to do it, but it wasn't that specifically. It tried to
Mm.
shove a lot of like, I'd like to say certain political ideals in your face, especially.
Ah.
And I'm just like, people liked this game. The ending sucked
Mhm.
too. I was like, this sucks. I don't know. It was just kind of weak. But
Yeah.
other reason I like Bill is this is what I wanted to go deeper with. Bill
Mhm.
is a reflection of Joel, of what Joel
Mhm.
is trying to be and what he could be. Because Bill even says it straight to his face. You shouldn't care about anybody. You should leave her. You should leave her wherever you left off. You should be by yourself, Joel. You should not have anyone. Because you know what happens when you care about someone? Gets you killed. I had a partner, and you just slowed me down. Now I'm all alone. I live by myself. I talk to myself. I'm kind of crazy. It's like, you should do that. And then Joel sees that, and he's not necessarily like, yeah, no, I shouldn't. But it really shows a perspective of what Joel's trying to be. And I think that's really powerful to show that. And I didn't understand that till I think a few days ago. That's why I put Bill down as number 3. Because originally it was going to be like someone else. Like I probably would have had Tommy on the list somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think Bill was that crazy. I thought that the arc with Frank was pretty. When I was a kid, I was like, that's pretty awesome. Especially when you give him the note.
Mhm.
And then he throws it down. Did you know when he throws it down, you could walk over and pick it up again?
Yo, you can keep the note throughout the entire game.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh.
I found that at the beginning too, and apparently a lot of people didn't find that out. Like you could pick it up a second time. I was like, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I think Bill really defines a certain characteristic that Joel is trying to look for, which is,
Yeah.
hey, don't care about people, and I think that's all I gotta
I
say
remember
about
reading
that.
note.
Hmm.
I think I remember. I remember reading that note before giving it like back to Bill, and you're like, "Oh shit." Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, well, because Frank wanted to live, but but Bill just wanted to survive. That was good enough for Bill. He's like, surviving is fine enough for me. He's like, well, I don't want to just survive. So he got tired of Bill, and I'm like, yeah, that's perfectly reasonable. I get
I
that.
always hated your guts.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Crazy. All right, but that's my number 3. So let's go to number 2. So, what's your number 2 spot? Let's hear it. I already know, but like, just tell me.
It's probably got to be my gal Ellie.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Oh, what the picture's inverted. Oh well. But yeah.
Oh well.
Ellie. Oh no.
I think
Are both numbers on? Oh yeah, they are. Number
Ellie, 100%.
Number 2. I almost put her at number 1, but I think.
Me too. But I think the how the game was centralized more on Joel other than Ellie. I think that's what kind of made my decision right there. But Ellie's definitely got to be my second on the list, mostly because not only as like a quote unquote sidekick, but
she's with you in the whole game.
Exactly.
Could you blame us for having her so high on the list, and if not number 1? Coming of age, she's got. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, for a like quote unquote sidekick, like in game terms, like she has a lot of character development, and that most games do not have for like characters that just follow you or roam around with you.
Especially female characters. Like this is very unique. Yeah.
Usually, I like the video where it's like caters to the male fantasy. I think this opens up to a lot of. I don't know how to say that.
Well, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that video before.
It's just very open for everything.
It's very. They took a risk, and they took the right risk, and because this was at a time where
always taking a risk.
Well, exactly, and people think, oh, they're taking these risks. They have an agenda. It's like no shit. They have an agenda, but like, have you seen what they've made because of this little agenda? They're not overdoing it. That's why it's so good because they're like, well, how do we do this but also make the writing good? Like when you hear that, you're like, okay, you're smart. You know what you're doing, Neil Druckmann.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
She's just an overall like real like strong and really like I'd say she's stubborn too. She's very stubborn. Like since she's only 14 in the game, she acts like she's like 18. She's like an adult, but
I think she matures a lot through each season of the game because something big happens in each season. Her what do you call it?
When she starts off, she's a little I'd say more like happy-go-lucky a little bit
Hmm.
because she still had some dark things like uh, what was your friend's name in Left Behind?
Riley dies. Yes.
Riley. Riley.
That was the first
That's probably
example. If I
something.
could give Ellie a
Mhm.
phrase, we're just combining number two. We're just gonna both talk about it because, like, why would I start over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
If I could define Ellie in a phrase, it would probably be fleeting of innocence. Because throughout
Mm,
the game, even in Left Behind, if we start from Left Behind, there is a crucial moment in each season or section or whatever where her innocence is slowly like, yeah, it's going, it's going.
let out.
So
Mm,
Riley dies. Uh, Tess dies.
hmm
With Bill, she's in the face of a bloater and all these other infected. When it's just her and Joel, she has to shoot a guy for the first time, kill him, and then
Yeah.
start using a gun, which Joel didn't want. I don't, but that I don't think it was for the same reason of like, oh, she's just a girl. That obviously was not the reason,
Yeah.
because he probably needed her help for sure, and he knew it.
Oh yeah. He would have
Yeah,
died.
he would be dead.
He would have died. And you could see that and actually I think it's this scene right here
This one right here,
that you
yeah,
have pulled up.
because there's a lot of
Yeah, where
guys.
he's like, where he's like, by the way, I would have died. Thank you. Well, I don't think he says thank you.
No, he doesn't. But she knows he
Yeah.
has a hard time saying that.
Yeah.
So she's like, "You're welcome," even though he all he said was, "By the way, it was either me or him," and then he jumps down, and then she
Yeah, and
goes,
then he
"Oh,
leaves.
you're welcome." Like that's as much as she's gonna get for how uh like emotionally unstable he is at like opening
Hmm
up and stuff, and because he's not good at that. He clearly because he like when Bill finds out when like Bill sees Frank, Joel doesn't even know what to say. He so stumbles over his words. He is trying to like comfort Bill, but like the most he gets is like, what was it? It was like, oh yeah, back there with your partner. That was pretty rough. That's as much as he says. And then
Yeah.
Bill's like, okay, are we
It's either.
square? Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah.
But Ellie, yeah, her innocence fleets slowly, and obviously the biggest moment where her innocence is gone and Joel's emotions are back is after the moment where David's gone finally,
hmm
and they're like opposites. Joel's like, oh man, Ellie, I love you so much. We're just gonna talk. I'm talking all day, and she's like in her own little world, like quiet, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
there it is, there it's gone. And then the draft scene uh, connects to
I
that
think the
too,
draft scene kind of. Yeah,
and we'll see that. We'll talk about that in a minute.
for sure.
But yeah, that is just so good. And obviously now our number one spot is Joel.
Joel, gotta know. Of course, like
Got it. Even
if
people,
your main character
yeah.
is not the number one, come on now, dog.
Have I seen that? I want
I
to
mean,
say
I could understand. I can understand Ellie because she's
it
kind
could
of
be
like the main
switched. I'm not. I
character.
wouldn't be surprised if it was like if someone said one or the other. Some people might have it tied, and I can
Hmm
completely understand that. Like nothing wrong with that at all. But I do think that Joel is the best character now because of his
Yeah,
arc throughout the whole story. And
that's exactly what I was about to say.
mhm,
He's such a well-written character,
start to
and
finish.
like start to finish,
uh I'm gonna go in depth.
from all the way before the outbreak until
The end.
he tells the lie to Ellie.
So from the beginning, Sarah dies, right? And
hmm
he's broken. He's like,
That's a big thing.
so that in
That
those
is a
20
really big thing.
years after that, he's like, all right, I'm done.
He's still hurt.
He's like, well, it's more like, we can't have that. I can't have that happen again.
Yeah.
No more
Mhm.
relationships. Not going to connect with somebody. Tess is my boss. That's all it is. Not really. He kind of sees that. She's
Yeah.
gone. And now he's like, God damn it, Joel. Look what you just did again. You kind of fell back into it. And then he tells Ellie, we don't bring up Tess ever. Because he's like, yeah, we're done. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to have any connections with anybody. You just follow me, do what I say. Gotcha. They meet Bill. He sees in Bill, oh, this is what I'm trying to be. And he's like, I don't know. Maybe. I know this is what I should do. He's still kind of like, yeah, I should do that. It's just him and Ellie. He makes some connections, but he's like, nah, we got to move on. Like, let's stop talking about these moments. And then finally, he trusts her, lets her use a gun. He opens up finally. He's like, okay, I need like your help on this. And you can tell he's kind of uncomfortable when he does that because he's like, I don't think I should be doing this, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And then it leads to them going to Tommy's or Henry and Sam, which was nothing much for Joel's arc there. It's just kind of another connection between him and between
I think that did a little bit more to Ellie and her story, and her like character arc.
I don't know. I think that I agree it does do stuff for her, but for Joel it's like when he sees Henry like so broken, he's like, oh, I had that. So when they get to Tommy, he's
Yeah,
like, that's
like a
gonna
relief.
happen. That what I just saw happen to Henry happened to me, and it's gonna happen again if I keep going down this way because I cannot see that girl die. But he doesn't say that specifically to Tommy. He's like, just take her. This is for your cause. Like, I'm helping you. Like, I'm gonna give you those guns. Just let me on my way. Like this is a cure for humanity. He doesn't care about any of that. He's just trying to say, don't let me do this again. Like, I can't have it happen again. And then when like
I think Tom picks that up.
Tom picks it up once he sees Joel talking to Ellie after the bandits raid their camp, because she's like, oh, she's saying all this stuff, and he's like, are you okay? And then Tommy goes, oh, god damn it, and then he's like, I gotta talk to you, wife. And then they gotta go and do their thing, and he's gotta explain to her. So yeah, but then Joel sees, dang it, man, I'll just do it. I'll let her in. She really cares, or she's trying to. I should too. And then he does.
After that scene where she runs away.
Yeah, which is a good scene on the list. But yeah, it's and then after that he gets stabbed. Oh shit. They're in a good place. They're in a really strong place. The relationship's the strongest right there. Right in the university before he gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Then after he gets stabbed,
Not necessarily gets that. He pretty much just falls on a piece of rebar.
he gets impaled.
Oh,
He gets impaled. Let's say that. He gets impaled. And after that, he's out of it. Ellie's in the thick of it. Ellie, once he finds Ellie, her innocence is fleeting greatly, and that is when that breaks Joel's heart a little bit.
I just got shivers down my spine because I just remember that scene where I'm not gonna explain it because that's
with Ellie and David and Joel.
Yeah,
and,
that's a.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. What's his name? Troy Baker, who plays Joel, really likes that scene because actually,
yeah, that's a really good scene.
He calls Ellie by the nickname he gave Sarah, and it's hard to pick up, but he says, "Oh, baby girl," which that's what he called Sarah all the time. But yeah, no. After that, her innocence is gone, and Joel's still like, "Oh, I really like you, Ellie. Like we're like father and daughter," and she's just like quiet, and he's like, "Fuck, like dude, this is not." I don't like this. Like I wish she was like that girl I talked to not too long last time I saw her. Like, and then of course they go through the Fireflies, and he's given a choice, and he's like, he makes the most human choice possible, and it doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter what Ellie thinks. She could hate him. This is a big thing I'm gonna say. She could hate him. Like she could despise him, never want to see him again. That doesn't matter to Joel. He will let her hate him, despise him, like forever, as long as he knows that she's alive, which is really powerful. And that's really like, wow, like he'd go that far, which is, it's messed up. And it could be a little bit selfish. It could be selfless. You don't actually know. I wouldn't say it's not, it's like because obviously, we're not saving humanity, that's selfish. Well, it's not human to do that either, though. The human option is to save the one you love. But then after that, it's all about the reason why you saved her, which I'll probably go into later, depending on what your favorite scene is. But yeah, I just think all that, the whole thing, it's just great. Just all that is why, I think Joel is the best character in the game.
Of course.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to say something about Ellie as well, real quick, that I remembered.
For sure.
What was it? Damn. Oh yeah. The fact that she thinks that her immunity, like all these people die, like Tess, Sam, Riley, they all get infected. And she's like, the reason why she lives, her thing she fights for, is so that she could be the cure, so that they don't die in vain. Now that she thinks they died in vain, Joel's like, you keep finding someone to fight for, and she's like, nah, that's bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit. Like, stop, come on. That's all I just wanted to say, because it's just like, that's really cool. Like that's pretty interesting, because you don't really know what she's fighting for. She's just kind of going on. You think maybe it's for Joel. Not even. She likes Joel. I think she sees him as a father, at least for that game.
Almost like a father figure.
Oh yeah, I'd
say they both kind of refuse it. Joel kind of refuses it because he doesn't want to end up in like you were saying, he doesn't want to end up in that situation with Sarah. And
No, they see each other as father and daughter almost. I'd say by the time
I'd say more towards the end of the game, but
I'd say at the
the
university
majority of the
slash
game.
winter,
Yeah,
they do.
yeah.
And especially Ellie, because Ellie didn't have a father or a mom,
Hmm.
so she would most of all, and Joel would too. I'd say,
Hmm.
and we'll see how that goes. I have a feeling their relationship is gonna be struggling in the next game, and we're gonna see that.
Oh, for sure. And that trailer when you see Ellie storm off from Joel.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, the
Oh
first
man.
4 minutes of the game, I'm telling you, they don't reveal much, but Joel doesn't
But
see.
they reveal enough to where you're like,
Yeah, you're like, damn it, man, this is gonna be a rough ride. Rough riders, man. Shit, yeah. But yeah, that's our number. That's my number 2 and number 1 spot. So that's it for that. Oh, whoa, is the image still up? Oh, there we go. Oh shoot. So now we're gonna move over to the top 10 moments. We're not gonna do. I'm trying to think of another question I had, like just a little tiny question in between. What was it? No, I don't think there was. I think I wanted to just go straight into this because there's so much to go over here. So,
yeah.
Number 10. What is your number 10 spot?
My number 10 spot, honestly, has got to be Sarah's death. Sarah's death is my number 10 spot. It's right in the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's right in the beginning of the game.
Yes, sir. I'm surprised. I thought that'd be higher.
It was, but I kind of did a little bit of switcheroonies.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I think yesterday I did a little bit of a switcheroony because I looked over the list again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Sarah's death is number 10. I know it's surprising.
It is a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a
Yeah.
little bit surprised, but that's okay. That's okay. I respect your opinion
Because I
that's really
think this
interesting.
is the initial break of Joel. This is when
It all goes downhill.
it all goes downhill. Let me tell you what, brother.
He's like, yeah,
It goes all down. He turns into the
motionless.
yeah.
What do you call it?
Emotionless
Shell.
being that he is.
Yeah, he's just this nothing. Yeah, no, but I get that. And very good intro to the game, by the way. Just great.
Oh, it's an amazing intro. It literally pulls on your heartstrings in the first 20 minutes of the game.
It tells you,
like, oh,
you want to have fun in this game? You will, but it's going to be a rough ride. And you're like, damn.
and the way they connect you to the character Sarah and
Joel immediately.
Joel,
which is
immediately
good.
Like the beginning of the game where she gives him the watch.
The watch too. The watch throughout the game.
You get that feeling.
So during multiple conversations, when he's like, you keep finding, like he says at the end of the game, you keep finding something to fight for. As he says that, he touches his watch. That's like saying,
yeah,
like after Sarah, it was you. That's what he says. And then another time was, Ellie says, "Oh, your watch is broken." That's what she says to Joel. Joel, something clicked. Troy Baker said that moment something clicked in Joel and was like, "Oh God, I don't want to care for this girl. Like I don't want to do that." Like she said literally what, like it was like almost like a callback from 20 years ago. And he like flashed back and he was like, "Oh God!" Like, and then after he wakes up from that nap, he's like, "Oh, what do the Fireflies want with you?" He's like, "No, you're a girl." He sees that you're not just a package, even though he did say that. But yada yada yada. Yeah, but definitely the watch is a big deal in this entire game.
Oh yes,
and it
all the way throughout.
It's gonna be he's gonna be touching it in the next game too. I just wait. He's just gonna watch his wrist. You'll see him doing it. But yeah, no, I like your spot. Very interesting. For me, my number 10 spot is something you actually said earlier. Let me find it really quick. Is it the it's the car scene.
Cassette? The car scene.
Yeah, the cassette tape. So
that's pretty. Yeah,
it's a good spot, and I combine this with the ambush because it is equally. This is a moment of this like we're just chilling out. Like this is the moment. It's like we're just
bondage. It's bondage between Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, they're just bonding. It's just cool, and it's also it's like a very everything seems normal. You get that moment of peace that you don't get. I think. Oh wait, you get one more time in the game, and that's with Henry and Sam when you get to the place. The satellite station, and they're like talking about motorcycles. That was another peace moment, but like this is the first one, and it's good. And he plays the cassette. She's like, "Oh, make you nostalgic." And he's like, "You're kidding? This is from like 50 years, like 60.
Before my time.
It's like 70, 80 years ago by that time. Because they're in like the 2030s now. So it's crazy. Yeah. But, but for real, that cassette tape is a real song. Was it Garth Brooks? I don't know. I don't think it was, but it's an old song. But it was supposed to be Johnny Cash. And
that's what I was thinking before he put it in. When I was recapping on the game and stuff like that, I always remember it to be Johnny Cash.
No,
but when
that's a
put it in,
Mandela effect right there, because I feel like I might have thought that, and that's like that never happens. But Troy Baker says it was supposed to be Johnny Cash, but they couldn't afford the song. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Which is crazy to think of. But yeah, no, this is a nice moment, and she talks, she has the porn magazine with the gay,
bye bye, dude.
Yeah, originally she said that obviously the character development for Bill being gay came later, and it was the actor who plays Bill, because he went to Neil Druckmann and goes, hey, what do you mean by partner when you see his partner? And then Troy Baker says this is a famous line by Neil Druckmann. He says, what do you think? And then the actor for Bill says, I think it's a romantic partner. And then Neil Druckmann says, let's work off that. Let's do that. I like that. That's a good idea. So people think that
Neil is such a great
director. First directed thing. He's the first thing he ever directed too. Like damn. He also directed Uncharted 4, and that's also said to be the best Uncharted game, which is impressive. He made one mistake in that game. I will give him that, but let's not worry about that.
We're not talking about Uncharted.
No, we're not talking about Uncharted. We're talking about The Last of Us, which is a near perfect game besides like little things. So I'm gonna pull up another picture real quick. So that we talked about that, but pull up the picture of the hunter real quick from that. Help me. This is another thing. This leads into what you were talking about. I was gonna talk about this. What was it? I was on both sides, because he's like, he ain't even hurt. That's what he says. I'm like, watching that, you're like, oh damn, and like they drive through and the music's playing. Yeah, and the music's playing really hard, and they go through and they're getting attacked from each side, and then after they get out, they're thrown right into the middle of a battle.
That garage right there, right in front.
It's just a badass scene. That's all I could say. That's all I like about it. It's just badass, and I like those moments, because I'd say when you're playing, you feel pretty awesome, but there's never like a cutscene where you feel pretty awesome. Not a lot, at least. I'd say there's two. There's two cutscenes where you're like, damn, Joel and or Ellie is a badass. So yeah. So that's just one of the scenes I thought was awesome. So yeah. So number 9. What is your number 9 spot?
Odd, because your number 10 was the cassette tape and my number 9 is the cassette tape.
Oh man.
My number 9 was the cassette tape.
Is there any other? Is there a reason why
I put it over? I think it's mainly because it was like, other than the sign of peace when they were talking about the Harley, like the motorcycles with
Henry.
When Joel was talking about the motorcycle was Henry. I think this is another good time of peace before it is abruptly ended by the ambush by the bandits.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of what boosted over Sarah's death, because Sarah's death was right in the beginning of the game. It was a large part of Joel's character, but saying that this is not only a game just about Joel, but is also a game about Ellie, I think this was pretty good between the both of them.
Now, the scene where they're in the car and the hunters come, do you apply that to this ranking, or is that a different moment you put on your list?
No, I apply that.
You apply that. Okay, I'm just wondering because you never know.
I agree with you how that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's peace and then pieces ended.
I do that a lot with a lot of these, so get ready for that. But my number 9 is this scene. Do you remember this scene? It might take a second for you. I think there's a delay on the.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay. I'll see.
It's the interrogation between.
Oh my gosh, that's a little bit higher. I got you.
Oh, okay. So Joel.
It's a little bit higher.
Don't tell me. Surprise, man. You gotta surprise me. Joel. I call this moment Joel on a warpath, because Joel is just determined as hell. And it's interesting because they show, how like Joel's a one-man army? You don't really think about it, but the game's like, hey, this isn't just like, oh, a video game being a video game. No. Joel's actually like this. This is who Joel is. He is very capable of surviving. So once Joel wakes up, he's injured.
He's still injured in this scene.
Yeah,
too.
he's injured, and he's holding him. He's like, but he runs out of the house, and he starts shooting these guys. Where is she? Where's she? They start running away, and they start going, run! Don't let him catch you. It's so funny. I'm just like, this is what I want to feel like.
Because he has that reputation between like people. People spread rumors about this guy and a girl.
In that group, then the cannibal group, and not even that. They just see that he's just killing guys like one after the other. So they're like, oh crap! So they start running. Yeah. They'll hide back. You keep killing more. They'll keep running, and then they try to flank him and cut him off. And then he beats up two guys, takes them back to a room, interrogates both of them, brutally, violently. This is the Joel that was a hunter. This is the dark Joel who will get what he wants.
This is the Joel we did not get to see before summer.
Yeah, exactly.
In those 20 years, whatever happened between that time.
This is it right here. And the guy tells him where he goes. He's like, oh, you told me. That's great. Breaks his neck.
Kills me, doesn't need him.
And the other guy's like, what the hell, man? Why'd you do that? Like, he told you what you wanted. I'm not going to tell you anything. And then he's like, oh, don't worry. I believe him. And I got chills. I was like, oh my God. And he kills him. Dude, so good. I love it. That was awesome. And
that whole interrogation where he puts a knife in his leg.
You either have two reactions. You either have two reactions to that. You're either like, oh my God, like he is like, oh my God, he's violent, he's brutal, or you're like, that was awesome. And I was like, kind of both. It was just dope.
Dude, it's same here. At first, I was like, damn, that's awesome. Then I like resaw the scene. I was like, that was kind of brutal, but that was
still cool. Still cool. Yeah,
that was sick.
Awesome, super awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing. It was just another. I think I'd say my 9 and 10th choice are just really, besides the car scene, it's just like, oh, they're cool. I really like those cool moments. Also, it shows how much he cares, because he really cares for her.
Yeah, this was all for Ellie. This is all to get her.
This almost shows that, like, he's a father figure now, because like he'll do anything to get her back alive, and it's not because she's a cure. Yeah. Okay, number 8. What's your number 8 choice?
Henry and Sam death scene.
Oh,
that's my number 8.
Okay, is it this one? Yeah, there we go. Henry's got the gun up to Joel.
Henry and Sam death scene.
Why? What do you like, and why do you like it? Or it's not, obviously this isn't a scene to like, I like this scene. This is a great scene. It's like, I really respect.
It's a hard scene.
Yeah, it's
kind of a hard scene to digest.
It is a good scene, and it's also a dark scene, and it's probably one of the darkest in the whole game, because it's suicide, which is a pretty sensitive topic.
And I think what you touched on before, why this makes it so much better, is that when he was saying that that's my brother, he wasn't talking to Joel. He was talking to himself.
I love it.
I remember you bringing that up, and that's what was going through my head when I like chose this. I was like, dang.
It's like, he doesn't see. But, I feel you.
Yeah, from this position, all of them get like exponentially like greater. Damn, just what is there not to be said about this scene? It pulls your heartstrings. It gives you a look of how this world is. It gives you a look into to Henry's character before he met his demise to himself.
But
it also impacted Ellie and Joel, because Ellie started to make friends with Sam, and then you could tell before the night before that Sam had something up. You could obviously tell there was an elephant.
Yeah, I was like, something's up, bro. He's like, what are you afraid of? I think
he was quiet. He was quiet. He like organized all the food and stuff like that. And when Ellie was asking him questions, he was like super quiet.
I wish I could have captured my reaction when I was a kid, because I played this when I was like 10 or 11.
I remember you sending me that.
Yeah, a little video, the only video I could ever find of me first time playing that game. And man, I swear, I stopped playing for a while after we got to like clickers. I was like, fuck that, no way. But no, I went back to it eventually. I just wanted to see what my reaction was, if I actually understood what was happening, because I think it took me a couple years because I was young. So once I got it, I was like, well. But I remember seeing this and being like, holy crap, like it shocked me. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah, when you see the scene the first time, you can't process it because so much went down. Ellie wakes up, goes to check on Sam. Sam's turned. You're like, what? Wait a minute. Uh, Sam comes in. Joel, Henry, they all
It's
wake up.
fast.
Whoa,
It's
whoa,
fast.
whoa,
It's fast. Yeah.
whoa, fast, so fast. Comes into the room. Joel goes to dig through his bag. Here's a gunshot. That's towards Sam. And then he looks over at Henry, and Henry points the gun at him, just like the scene that is up on the screen right now.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that scene right there is when he shoots at his feet. He's like, hey, that's my brother, don't shoot him.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
And then, but then I know what you're talking about. Because Henry's crying first, and then he points the gun at Joel, and he's like, oh, it's your fault, and then kills himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, man, like wow. And it cuts to black when he shoots himself, which is very strong. And it's not because they don't want to show it, because they don't really care. It's more of like just shock value, I think, for sure, and a great transition, especially from summer to fall. Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. So what was that?
What is
number 8? Yeah,
that was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is your numero 8?
Let me look. I don't know. I forget. Oh,
He's just got like this big.
I combined a couple
Spreadsheet.
scenes, and I have a feeling you might have this on your list. If you do, hush, hush, hush.
Uh-huh. I will. I won't say anything.
This is. Let me take this off the screen. It's not that one. That's not that one. Where is it? Do I not have a picture? Uh-oh. No, I do. I'll use this one.
Okay.
Here we go. It is Ellie. This is a mix between Ellie meets David, and David and Ellie. And Ellie in the meat locker, in the cellar. I already talked about this. David does not lie to Ellie, and he is the weirdest bad guy of all time. And their moments together, he doesn't turn evil, full on evil. Like, I'm gonna show you my dark side. I'm David. I'm gonna eat ya. No, he's like, he doesn't do that till she breaks his finger, and then he's like, oh, we're done. Tiny pieces, Ellie. Yeah. And it's over, and the facade is up. He's like, okay, fine. You're not gonna do this. I'll just treat you like I treat
everybody else.
all the other peasants. He thinks of people obviously below him. He thinks he's very superior to people, obviously.
He thinks he's
some type of. He's like, oh, you don't know what I'm capable of, and he says all this stuff. I went over it. I just really like this, and I have nothing more to say than what I already have said. So yeah. So on to the number 7. I'll put that 8 down. All right. What is your number 7 spot?
Number 7. When Joel kills David's men, when he interrogates them.
Oh, there it is.
That's my number 7.
There it is.
That is my number 7. We already kind of touched on this scene, but it's such a powerful scene of what you get. Like, you get another look on Joel. It's like, whew.
This is not a guy I wanna slap in the face in public.
You kind of get the look on how he's such a formidable person that.
So capable of this entire thing.
Yeah.
One of the most capable people I think could ever live in that environment.
For real.
Like, I guess you could say the only reason Ellie is because of Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Without Joel, she would be not as well equipped as because she watches him, she works with him, he taught her how to shoot. It's just everything. Mm-hmm. Just like, even if it doesn't look like he trained her that much, she learned from him, like, everything just by watching. And she was fighting alongside him, really, like, that's like, she gets her strength points for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have anything more to say on that specifically, of what we talked about?
Not really, because we already kind of touched on, like, everything about the scene, how it relates to other aspects of the game. Mm-hmm. But I just really want to touch on how badass that scene was. On how he was interrogating them and he stabbed the knife into his leg, and then he pulled the knife out and put the knife in his mouth to mark where it was.
Yeah.
Whew.
Mm-hmm. It makes me cringe when he says, "I'm gonna pop your knee off." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, have you ever heard someone threaten you to say, I'm gonna pop your damn knee off?" It's
pop your knee off.
What?
And then you like.
That's terrifying. I'm like, oh god, that hurts. That'll hurt me very bad. Like, I don't want that to happen. Not at all. Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. But that's anything else you want to say on that?
Not really anything, because we touched on.
All right. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. My number 7 is when Ellie kills David, and David versus Ellie also, because that was super terrifying when I was a kid. I was like, this isn't a guy I could run up to. Now, granted, I did play easy mode, so in easy mode, you're given bottles and bricks to throw at him, which I don't know if I knew that when I played the first time. I played it a second time on easy again when I was a kid because I was like, this game's so good. But I remember utilizing that. But then when I played on normal, I'm like, where are the bottles and bricks? Like when I got older, I was like, oh, there's not. Also,
that's the difference between the difficulty.
Yeah, and obviously even more than that, like it changes and changes. And I learned like you have to stab him 3 times. I remember it being really easy. Then I'm playing it on hard mode or like a harder difficulty. I'm like, dude, he can go down the first time. You know, the second time it's a lot harder, and the third time he's like sneaking around trying to outsmart you, and you're like, whoa, this is that's a boss battle. People say it's not really a boss battle, maybe a bloater. It's like people always forget David. David is the boss battle of the entire game, and it is terrifying.
I'd say so too.
Yeah, and it is great. And then when he's like, oh, you don't know what I'm capable of, and right after he says that, he like, that's the biggest mistake. You know, Karma's a bitch because she grabs the machete, she cuts him into a million pieces, and your first reaction is like, yeah, go Ellie, and then you're like, oh. That's a lot more than just one, because this isn't something you're like, I'm gonna stab him once, haha, got him, victory, I'm the hero. It's like, this guy is torturing me. I had to go through a bunch of his men to get here to just survive with only a knife, pretty much, and maybe like a few bullets and a revolver.
A bow. She had a bow.
Well, but after she got captured, she had nothing but her knife.
Oh yeah, she had nothing.
And during the fight too, and you know he's really hurting her, and like she's just like, oh my gosh. The innocence is fleeting, and it is.
That I was just about to say something about that.
Yeah.
How you were talking about the innocence fleeting. I'm like, this is that final scene where you could tell that like she's kind of hanging on to it because she's like she's emotional, and during the scene when she finds Joel, well, not really finds Joel. Joel finds her. You can kind of see that she's emotional about it.
I mean, who wouldn't be? Come on, you're broken after that.
Of course.
You just chopped a man. His face is probably muck and just disgusting.
They never pan down to see his face. You just see like.
Oh, of course. I don't think you should. I don't think anybody wants to see that. That'd be gross.
That'd be horrible.
Yeah. And because also here's a big thing that the game likes to do, which this one was planned. Sometimes it's not planned, but they subverted your expectations. You're like, oh, Joel, get to Ellie, save Ellie. You think he's gonna save her? No, he doesn't. She saves herself, and it's like, oh shit, nice.
And Joel is just there to let her know that it's all right.
It's like, hey, it's all right, but it's not all right, and she knows
it's not all right. He probably I can't remember if he actually looked down at David and was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh. I wonder after he's like, God damn, like Jesus Christ, that is a bloody man. And yet he has no idea. I don't think she ever told him what she went through. And I swear, if we don't get a PTSD flashback of Ellie seeing David, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep because that'll be epic. It'll be awesome. So that'd be so good. Probably won't, but I'm just saying that'd be dope. But yeah, when when she kills David, it's like she's killed a bunch of guys. You don't really have innocence after you kill dozens of men. And like this is like, I wouldn't say this isn't the last straw. The last straw obviously is turns out they stopped looking for a cure. Like that's her whole purpose.
Yeah.
That's what really broke her, and now that's what's going to be the girl in the next game. That's who we'll see after that moment. But yeah,
of course she'll have some more recognition of what happiness is, because you can see they have their own little settlement in Jacksonville.
Well, it seems like she's really happy with one person. Obviously, Dina. She's gonna die. Let's be real. She's gonna die.
I think everybody in the history of
if she doesn't die, I'll be legitimately surprised. Actually, no, I wouldn't be surprised because the game likes to subvert your expectations. So she might. For all I know, she might be R-worded, if you know what I mean, and then beat up, and then left to die, but not dead. That's all I know. And then maybe she's in a coma, and then Ellie's like, "I'll take your bracelet. I want to kill all these motherfuckers." You know? And that could be what happened. It needs to be powerful though, or I might not be down with it because I'm really worried because I think, to me, the only thing powerful enough for this 19-year-old girl to go try to be invincible and kill all these people is, hey, Joel's dead. That's the only thing to me that I thought would would do it, but that's clearly not the case because he helps her. But whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I don't know.
Gosh, when you said Joel's dead thing, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, like
I
oh,
am
it's
not.
coming, it's coming.
You like I think everybody knows it's coming, but oh man,
It's
I
so
don't think
crazy how we
I'm.
could fall in love with this guy who's super like flawed and not like not he's relatable. He's actually super relatable, but he's not super likable. Like I wouldn't say he's like a guy you'd be like, dude, I wish Joel was like in real life and I could be his friend. Like I don't think I'd want to be this guy's friend. He's very depressing, but you do care about him. There's a difference between caring and liking, and I care about him. And obviously I like him because he's cool, but like you know what I mean.
Badass. Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, that's my number 7 spot. So, number 6 spot. What?
Wait, I said my number 7. What's your number 7?
That was.
Oh wait, no,
That was my number 7.
Oh yeah.
What's your number 6?
Ellie killing David.
Oh shit! Ah, okay. Do you have anything else to say on that, or?
Gee, man. I think we covered everything about that death scene. That killing scene, and more on how it affected both characters of the game.
For sure. Definitely, I wouldn't say it affected Joel too much because he wasn't there. Which I think
That's true.
I think he feels that definitely hurts him. He's like, I wish I was.
Yeah, I think it kind of gives Joel a glimpse of what Ellie actually is capable of, because he kind of woke up. I bet he kind of woke up in a haze. Like, oh god.
Oh yeah. Oh, also, I should have had this scene up. I really like this scene. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, David with the machete. I really like that. I put that up on the screen real quick. But yeah, so that's your number 6. So sweet.
Woke up. Oh god. Went on this whole journey and then saw Ellie after she just mauled this guy.
Exactly. You see that on screen now? You probably do, right?
Yeah.
That's
right
someone screenshotted that. They had to have. All right. So my number 6 though is different because that was yours, but my number 6 is the choice. Do you know what choice? The choice. Should Joel let Ellie die? This is my number 6 spot, which I feel like that might be a little bit shocking. That it's kind of high. It's not very it's not even the top 5, and it's not because it's bad. It's not because it's bad. It's because I just think that other moments matter to me more, and it's kind of because it's it's moments that matter to us, not that we think everybody likes because then this wouldn't be a video. But yeah, this was I remember talking about this. This would have been probably my number 1 if I didn't grow up. I think that when I was younger, I was like, because morals to me are really important. That's one of my big things for me. Like I have morals. Like and like in high school, I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do that because I just don't like to.
Exactly.
So I like talking about morals. I like thinking about morals. So when they come to this point in the game, they're like, here's a decision. Do you want to save this girl? Or sorry, they don't give you the choice. It's Joel's choice. We're watching from Joel's point of view. So it's like, will he let her die for everybody else, or will he not? Now, most people's reactions would be, "Oh, I'm not gonna let Ellie die. That'd be terrible." And then afterwards, they think about it and they're like, "Wait a second, I need to think about this a little bit more." Once they done, but usually in the moment, I've seen from YouTubers and other people, I'm not letting her die. When I was younger, I was like, yeah, no, that's stupid. Why would I let her die? Marlene's the bad guy. That's what I thought. Marlene's the bad guy. And then I grow up and I'm like, wait a second, Marlene's not the bad guy. And I'm like, is Joel the bad guy? I actually thought Joel might be the bad guy. And then now, at this stage where I am, I'm like, nobody's the bad guy. Marlene might see Joel as the bad guy, but Joel doesn't care.
It's all about a game of perspective.
Yeah, I think
everybody's got different perspectives.
So people ask me, well, Ryan, what's the best choice? What do you think the best choice is here? I said, I can't tell you what the best. There's an obvious best choice, but there's also a human choice. So obviously the selfless and best choice would be to do what Marlene does, which is, okay, I care about her. It's like, oh, would you if you were given 2 bullets? If you had the power to, okay, my bad. Let me fix that. If you were put in a situation, how about that, where you could save everyone, like a bunch of people, or save one person you love. What would you do
Mm-hmm.
in that moment? And people would say, well, ethically, you'd want to save everybody, even if you love the persons. It's like, well, ethically, that's BS because that's not human. Human
No.
is you'd save.
In the heat of the moment, in the heat of the
You don't
moment,
care.
you would no.
If it's your daughter, no, you're saving your daughter. I don't care who you are. You will. You could say whatever you want, but you will not, because that is not human. That's why I think Marlene is not like her her ideologies are
And
not
that's
human.
why you put her on the list.
That's why I put her on the list because that's really brave for someone to do because I can't. What Joel did, I completely understand. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Now I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. His choice, as like as drastic as it is with the consequences, it's a choice that I think most people would choose. I think if my dad was put in the situation and that was my sister, they are real people. This isn't a made up situation. Like I actually have a dad and a sister.
Of course.
I think knowing my dad, and I've said before, Joel actually, I think I connected with Joel a lot because Joel reminds me of my dad a lot, like real.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah. Obviously not as my dad's not a brutal guy. That's not what I mean. I just meant like some personality traits. I think he would do the same thing. I think my dad also, if he lost my sister, he'd be broken. Like,
I think anything in a game where it's like a father figure in a child, I relate to dearly between me and my dad.
Yeah.
Like this is completely unrelated to the game, but Assassin's Creed Origins, the story between Bayek and
his son dies pretty early on, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the whole story on how he avenges his son is amazing. And like I got my dad to play that game. He said he really
I
liked
gotta beat that game. Have you gotten your dad to play this game?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
dude, it'll break him. I think
I'm gonna get him to play.
it'll break him a little bit.
Sure.
It'll definitely be hard because I've heard dads when they can't barely once they play the prologue they stop playing and they're like I can't do it, and I'm like yeah it's fine. And eventually they do, but like it's just hard, and I bet it is. But yeah, no, I just think that I see that, and when I think like I think I asked my dad before, what would you do? What if it was Noelle, which is her name, and he said I don't know. He just said I don't know. Like that's a really hard choice, and I'm like yeah, I bet it is. And honestly, I think he would rather choose her, and I think if it was my daughter, I'd probably do the same. But obviously, I can't say I don't have a kid, so I don't know what that feels like. But yeah, it's just it's super big moment. You know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna actually add the lie to this moment, and I don't have a picture of the lie of Joel lie. Oh, actually, I do. Here it is. I'm gonna connect that because actually that's not on my list. I didn't put that on my list because
You didn't?
no, I was trying to cut it down, but I think this can connect to it because it transitions to it. So Ellie's like, oh, I would bump this up now, but I'm just gonna keep the list the same because I don't care. Ellie's like, hey, all I cared about, man, was the fact that I was gonna make up for those people in the past that died, and I don't think it's my fault, but I do think.
And now she was saying that she's still waiting for her turn.
She's like, I'm still waiting for my turn to change, and it never came, but instead all these other people that I know happened, and I feel like it's my fault that I didn't avenge them in a way, or like they died in vain. And then Joe's like, oh come on, you gotta find something to fight for, and she's like, oh no, swear to me that you're not lying because this is serious. And he lies, and she's like, okay, and she by that look right there, that's the look of, damn it, man, why you gotta
That's
do
what
that?
I was saying. The expression in her face kind of lets you know that she kind of has that feeling that he is lying.
Originally this was not on my list, but then obviously talking about it, I'll just connect it with that one. Yeah, it's such a good strong moment. And then obviously Joel looks like a rabbit right there, by the way. You'll see it in a second. His mouth just, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, when his mouth is like half open.
But yeah, no, I just think that's so great. Right, everything there is so great. And was that my number 6 spot? That's my number 6. That's not even like 5. Oh man, what's number 5 then? We'll see in a second. I'll close that out though. So, what is your in that number 5 spot?
My number 5 spot is that decision. Joel wanting to get Ellie back from the doctors in the hospital.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh.
On how he made that moral decision fast and he took action.
Yeah. So are you talking about when he's in the room with the doctors, which I didn't even talk about?
In like actually in the hospital, like after Marlene is like, hey, she'll be done with surgery. Wait here, guards are escort you, do your stuff and stuff like that. And then when he takes the course of action right there, and he like beats the guard's face in and
Mm-hmm.
grabs all the
Shit,
stuff.
I can't find the fucking image. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. The choice. Yeah. Right. Yes. Uh huh.
That is my number 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that when you're not given a choice when you have to kill
No,
the doctor, which is
yeah,
something
of course.
I totally forgot to talk about, which I'm glad you brought up. I'm glad,
Mhm.
really glad you brought that up. When I played when I was a kid, I shot that doctor so quick. I shot all the doctors, I'm pretty sure.
Boom.
I was like, I'm getting Ellie. Like, get out of my way. Like, this is it. I want her. Then I didn't know you could stab him, so I would just shoot him because I thought there's nothing else you could do. I think I tried walking past them, and I was like, okay, I have to kill him. So then I shot him, and then I noticed that if you the canon version of killing him is like what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to stab him. Like that's the normal one. Like where you grab the scalpel and you stab him in the neck. You know about that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. I'm just like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Most people just blast him with the shotgun.
Yeah, right. That's what I did. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost 99% positive that was the first thing I did when I walked in the room. I was just like, "Blow!" Yeah. No, yeah. But also, I forgot the moment I really like is when he lifts her up and he runs through the hallway with her to the elevator. That is one
Yeah.
of my favorite moments in the game.
It's a super
Emotional scene.
emotional scene because you see Joel and his full emotions, like colors flying, like
He's like, I care. I'm not gonna let this happen for a second
yeah.
time. Not today. This is it. Let's do this. Holding her the same way he was holding Sarah in the prologue.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I related it to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's so good. And when like the music that's playing, by the way, that I have the whole album of the
Oh, same man.
yeah, that one's called All Gone No Escape. That is in my top 3 best songs. It is just so good.
I think my favorite song out of the thing is the main thing.
Oh, of course.
The main
Okay,
theme
that's
is
number
so-
1. Number 2 is
is so-
that one though. It's called All Gone No Escape.
Yeah.
You should have to listen. In the middle, there's a good crescendo in the music. That's when you're running through the hallway, and it's just like, wow. I just think of that every time when music does that for you in a game. When it like you could think back into the moment where it happened. That's why I'm. Just
I don't
like,
think
wow.
I do more than think back into the moment. Whenever I listen
feel
to
it.
The Last of Us, I feel it.
Yeah.
I think of situations of myself in those situations. It like I forgot the name. Gustavo
Santalola.
Yeah. He
He doesn't even
the
write it.
music just has a way of sending me back or sending me into my imagination.
Yeah.
It like
Mm-hmm.
completely makes it think. Like there's this one part of the Last of Us song, where it like gets light.
I know
It's like a different harmony.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's in like the last quarter of the song. Gosh, man, like I just think of it like of being dark, and then when that starts, I think of like a flashback of when everything was good, and then it goes back down.
Right.
Cool, man.
Sorry, I closed my window, but I was still listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And my third one is called The Path, and it's there's only 2 versions, and it's the second version.
The Path, yeah.
And it plays at the credits, and I just like that because it just sounds really good. Yeah, but yeah, no, the music is so good, and I was thinking about making. I wasn't sure how you felt about the music actually.
Oh, I love the music.
Yeah, because some people,
kidding me?
I think after we talked about the C4, C1, C4. Oh my God.
Yeah. C4.
Yes, that's what I thought it was. I was like, oh, this guy might like the music, but I didn't think about adding that to the list. But that was pretty much it right there. We just told each other a little mini list right there. So yeah.
Little mini list for after number 5.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, it's so good, the music. But
Oh my gosh, amazing.
that's number 5 for you. I got you.
Yeah.
My number 5. Oh yeah, it's Henry's biggest mistake.
Henry's biggest mistake. Okay.
Yeah, or in his eyes, his biggest mistake. Not, I don't think it's. I wouldn't say he didn't fail. Things happen, but in his eyes, he failed. Now, this is another reflection of Joel. This is another example of what could have happened to Joel once Sarah died. Sarah's dead. Joel could have picked up, went over to Tommy, grabbed the gun or grabbed the soldier's gun, shot himself in the head because he's like, oh, I'm done. but Joel didn't.
Yeah.
And still, Joel went down the Bill path, or tried to at least. And then also, like you talked about, which I'm gonna just say on here because you mentioned that I said this. I'm just gonna say it because we haven't really said it yet.
Yeah.
When Henry sees Sam run out, Sam is, he's a zombie, or he's infected. I guess they're not even really called zombies, I heard.
No.
Because the way they work is just...
Because technically they're not zombies. They're just infected, and this fungus takes over their brain.
They do eat people, though, so...
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
You could relate them to the modern-day zombie, but I think at this time people were like...
It's something else. Because originally they were all going to be clickers, but late, like 10 months before the game came out, they added runners, what are they called? Stalkers and bloaters. They added that 10 months before the game came out.
Oh, I can't wait to see what the new one is in The Last of Us 2.
Though there isn't one new one that it just explodes when it gets near you. Just boom, boom, boom.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the one where you hear
the one where they don't tell you
the monster call, or like the monster scream.
Yeah. But anyways, I heard there might be more than one, by the way. That new ones.
Oh really?
Yes. But anyways, Sam comes in, and then Joel's like, "Oh no, he's infected," and then he goes to grab his gun. And then Henry shoots at his feet and is like, it's my little brother. And then Joel goes, screw this. And he tries to go grab his gun. But then Henry already shoots Sam. And the reason why, you're like, well, then why did he shoot at Joel's feet? It's like, because Henry knows
he
needs to do it. Like, that's his responsibility. And it's that split second he knew he had to do it. Then right after that, he's like, oh no, what did I do? And he's like, it's all your fault. He's talking to himself. It's all your fault. And then he points the gun at Joel, not thinking, really. He's just not thinking. He's like, just like, get back, kind of. And then he's like,
yeah,
this is all your fault. And then he shoots himself. And that's so strong. And I saw that later. And for some reason, I thought, did anybody else notice this? And then, like, when you go on other YouTube channels, you go into the comments, everybody's saying it. They're like, oh, did you know? I'm like, oh, everybody noticed. Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. So I was like, okay. But this, like you said, this scene stuck with me. And I have no connections to anybody who's had suicidal problems in the past. Or like, I know people that know people, but I've never known someone personally. So, but it doesn't matter. It's still, it's super powerful, and it's super intense and scary and dark. So
it's a scary thing for other people around them too. And I think
it can make people. I've seen people get shaken up. Say I have to stop. Like they freak out because they know people. They get really emotional. They might have had problems in the past, and it's like I don't love seeing them like that, but I love that how strong the connection this game makes with people, like how it does that, and I'm like, that's awesome. It's so awesome. But yeah, and I think when it transitioned to spring or fall, it's transitioned to fall right after this. I was like, whoa, that's how you're gonna do it? Okay, that's fine. God damn, that's insane.
Yeah, such an abrupt end to a season.
I'm like, okay, hats off to you guys. Good job. Respect for sure. But yeah, it's my number 5 spot. Moving on to the number 4 spot. What is your number 4 spot?
Giraffe
scene.
Giraffe.
There it is.
Definitely giraffe scene.
Why?
I think this scene overall is another one of those peaceful scenes where beforehand you could kind of tell that Ellie is in the slum. She's quiet. She's kind of giving the cold shoulder to Joel before this scene. Like, especially when Joel was gonna when he calls, he was like, hey kiddo, come over here to help her up the ledge and drop down the ladder. You could kind of tell something's up because she's like sitting on that.
She's like in her own little world, right?
That brick bench, and she's like thinking. You could tell she's thinking about something. And as time goes on, as the scene goes on, you can tell she gets she's really inside of her shell. And I think when these giraffes show up, they both kind of open up and they both kind of regain that. Not really happy-go-lucky because nothing's really happy.
Joel's happy actually. If you see, he's like,
oh yeah,
yes, we're together.
Joel's happy because he has Ellie and he's kind of found something to fight for. He's got that person,
but she's not, which is upsetting for him. He's like, damn, this is kind of sucky. And then this moment happens, and he's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah,
man. So cool.
especially the scene after that when they're like on the ledge.
And they're sitting together, and they make the call back to the earlier in the game,
Yeah.
and they're like, is it all you imagined to be? And she's like,
Hmm.
it's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny
Yeah.
that view. I'm like, hey, call back, nice.
Yeah.
Is that all you got to say about that? You got anything else to say?
Um, and it's before everything goes down.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like
big deal right there. Mm-hmm.
it's the last moment they have, quote unquote, have together. If Joel wasn't as strong willed and didn't love Ellie as much as he does,
Mm-hmm.
like that would have been the last moment they would have had,
Right.
and that kind of sticks with me. If it did end up that Ellie had her surgery done and she was never a character again because she just
There wouldn't if that happened. There wouldn't be a second game. You all know it,
exactly.
and
Mm,
there's a reason why she's alive, and they better show that, and they do it well. You know.
mm.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. My number 4 is, let me find it. I call it the moment of No, I'm just gonna say we're gonna do this first. Ellie saves Joel. This is two-parter. It's connected. Ellie saves Joel
Mm-hmm.
first. Joel's initial reaction straight away is like, you can see in his eyes, "Oh, you saved me.
Goddamn
Thank God.
kid.
Like you saved my life." Well, at first, if you see in his eyes, he's like,
Mm,
"Whew, that was really close." And he snaps back into, "Nope. Don't say thank you. Don't say, 'Wow, you really had me.' Be like, 'Why didn't you listen to me? You should have listened to what I said. Like, give me that back. Like, blah blah blah." Like, she's like, What the hell? What's this? What is this? What are you doing? I just saved your life." And he's like, "Oh, you're just a kid. I'm gonna get my hair blown off by a kid." That's not why. He's really thankful on the inside that she did that. But then
mm-hmm.
at the same time, he's just like, "I can't do this again, Sarah. I can't have that." And so what's really cool about this is that right after this scene, she's like, "Oh, lead the way." Her animations change actually during gameplay. Her arms, she's holding her
Yeah,
arm.
yeah.
Like when you go look at stuff, she'll sit on like a table. The way she's talking is different.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple
Lead the
conversation. Yeah.
way.
Oh, there's like even during the gameplay, like you'll be talking and she'll be like, "Yeah, yeah," and like she'll be like, "Yeah, whatever, Joel." And like you could have certain conversations with her. He's like, "You have something you want to
Mm-hmm.
say?" She's like, I didn't mean to like disobey you. I was just trying to help." And he's like, "I
Mm-hmm.
you need to listen to me." And he obviously feels bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, I can't believe like they went that far into the gameplay and showed that. They didn't just cut back to, "Oh, she's walking around normally, like everything's fine," like because that's what
Mm-hmm.
a normal game would do. This isn't a normal
It,
game.
yeah. What's crazy is that these are mechanics that you would see in games that were released like 2017, like all this, but this is a game that was released what, 7 years?
Yeah, 7, 8.
About, yeah, 7 or 8 years
Yep, 7.
ago.
Yep, 7. So it's about 7. Mm-hmm. Wow, a
And
little over 7.
the,
It still beats
it's
out
just
games
this
that come
wasn't,
out.
yeah,
You know, yeah, it's impressive.
really impressive.
Beat out. I still think other people are like, "Oh, God of War came out." God of War is so close for me. At one point,
Between The Last of Us and God of
yeah,
War.
I was saying, I told my friends, "I don't know, guys, it might beat it out." I said, "I think I might have to replay The Last of Us." I replayed The Last of Us. I'm like, "Ha, nope. Last of Us is still the best."
Yeah,
It's close though. I'm not kidding. But God of War
because
probably
it's another one of those stories where it's
part coming of
dad
age,
and
part
yeah,
dad trying to be better.
yeah,
And the God of War 3 wouldn't exist without. Sorry, God of War 4 wouldn't exist without The Last of Us. I think because they definitely pulled some stuff from that.
mm-hmm.
Not disrespecting it in any way. They did their own thing and they did it good. I respect it. But The Last of Us did it first. Let's just say that. And they did it. They did it in such a awesome way that yeah. I think gameplay wise, The Last of Us is just different. But I enjoy the gameplay a little bit more in God of War. But it's just different. It's just different. You can't really compare that. That's just different. But anyways, then it switches to this right here. Ellie learns to shoot a rifle. And this is
Yeah.
where Joel finally says, "I'll let you help. I'm doing
In
this.
his way, he says,
Thank you."
"I'm sorry that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that. Thank you."
Yeah. He's just like, "Oh, it was either me or him." And then he jumps down. He doesn't say sorry or thank you or whatever. But she's like, "Oh, you're welcome." Like, I know what you're saying. She's kind of understanding him a little bit more. and he's letting her in a little bit more. And this is, I was really close to putting this higher, but I was like, nah, there's more scenes that are higher than this. But this scene right here is what this whole game's about. Like, truly, like just this relationship, trying to bond, trying to come together, these two strangers. And this is what all the cover art, like this scene was what all the cover art was modeled after. Like, oh, him teaching her how to shoot, her holding a rifle, like all that.
Yeah.
It's like this is the scene they really care about, and I dig that. And it's in a part of the game, probably the most iconic part of the game, which is Pittsburgh to me, which is in summer, which is why I like summer so much. It has so many good scenes. Yeah. But other than that, I think that's all I got to say about that. Yeah. Awesome.
All you got to say about that?
Good. Now, number 3. What is it for you?
Now, are we into our top 3 now?
Top 3. Mm-hmm.
Whew. All right. I think my number 3 has probably got to be Joel's lie at the end of the game.
Oh, I'll pull that up. I'm glad I put that in this. I almost didn't.
Number 3 is
damn, just
Joel's
the lie, huh? Just a lie.
Well, no, like that whole the end of the game, the whole sequence when they're going through the forest and he like gets the barbed wire and stuff like that.
No, yeah, that's what I consider that. I consider that
forth.
the whole scene. I got you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That one scene where she kind of breaks the silence and how she was thinking in her own head and she breaks the silence with the question on, what was the exact question she asked?
Swear to me that all of this wasn't for nothing, and that the Fireflies didn't really need me. And then he goes, he looks her dead in the eye, and does he hesitate? I don't even think he hesitates. And he goes,
no, he doesn't hesitate at all. Actually, a little bit. He takes a little bit of a, like he's almost like preparing to.
He's like, I gotta do this because I don't care if she hates me, but I don't want her to. I'll lie to her if that means she's still alive. Because she might kill herself. If he doesn't know what she'd do, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he'd be like,
he just doesn't want to lose. Joel does not want to lose Ellie. He doesn't want to lose Ellie. Like physically, he doesn't want to lose her to she was about to get to death. Or
he wants her to exist and live on. Because if she doesn't live on, he can't live on.
Exactly.
He is her world. And without his world, he is nothing. He will die, and he won't die, but his soul will be broken.
Yeah, and he'll end up like he was in the beginning of the game, completely broken.
He'd probably if Sarah wasn't the last straw, Ellie would be the last straw if anything happened to her. He would be like, yeah, I'm probably gonna end it like for real.
Yeah,
it's so funny because it's like, what about Tommy? Does he not love Tommy like that? He must not.
I know, right?
And Tommy, I think Tommy sees that.
You kind of could tell that they have a little bit of beef because.
Well, during the stuff, but like, that's probably what led.
And in the beginning, when Tess is like, take her to Tommy's, and he's like, I'm not taking her.
Because they've got in a fight, and he doesn't want to be connected to anybody. I think after he left Tommy, that's when he was like, okay, we're going straight, not having any friends, not having any relationships. That's when he left Tommy. That's when that officially happened. I bet he was still doing that, but yeah. But yeah, no, this is a. Can you hear that? That's my dog. That was my. Oh, okay. I was wondering if you could.
Oh, your dog was barking?
Howling because it was like someone's over right now. My mom's friend.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that this scene is super good. I don't know why I almost didn't put it on.
And it leaves us kind of off on a okay. There's something else.
This could pick up. Yeah, this could pick up. Like there's something else after this. Now, obviously, when I first watched this, I was young. And I was like, I had 3 emotions. I'm crying. I can't believe it's over. That was my first reaction. Second reaction was, I don't understand what happened at the end. I'm a little confused.
You're like, huh?
Yeah. And then third, I was like, that's the end. At the same time, I was like, that's the ending they do. Because I didn't understand it. And then you get older.
Because it wasn't really a more like
happy ending. It was like, she ends it.
It wasn't a.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was more of a deeper underlining meaning of an ending. It's not just like a one-sided ending. It's got multiple ways you could look at this.
100% a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And it ended on this shot. Oh, I dropped that.
Thinking.
It ended on this shot of Ellie.
That shot.
And her saying, okay. And then it cuts to black, and then the path plays. And you're like, whoa.
Whoa.
That's it, man. That's all it is. I'm just like, hey, yeah, brother. But yeah, no, that's really good. I really like that. So what was that? Number 3? Oh man,
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Now you're number 3.
What is my number 3? Oh, I know what my 1 is. I know what my 2 is. Oh yeah. We're gonna go here, and this is where I talk about. I get personal. It is. Jesus, come on, find the freaking photo. Okay, Sarah's death. Not Sarah's death, but the prologue as a whole.
Oh, okay.
When I first got this
This is
game,
why you were surprised when I said this was number 2.
yeah, because this is my number 3, and I was like, damn,
Ah.
really, number 10? I was like, wow, it just shocked me because the thing I've seen the most in this game, or that stuck with me, was this beginning scene. I was like, I've never seen a game like this. Like, this is insane. This is a movie. This is intense. This is dark. This is emotional. And this is, even as a kid, I understood, like, this is something serious. Like, this is no joke. I remember, like, that video of me as a little kid playing. I don't think I've ever been in the zone like that as a kid playing a game before. Maybe Uncharted 3, but I doubt it. That was
Maybe with Halo. I played a lot of first-person shooters.
I've never been an Xbox guy, so couldn't. I guess I could play it on PC, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wow, and it really, like, I didn't cry or anything because this isn't a moment I specifically connect to, but you don't really have to feel something still, to be like, wow.
I was a little bit of an emotional kid back then, and I cried during this.
I was emotional too.
And it was the beginning. It was the beginning of the game. I was already crying. I was like, what?
It's like, how can you do that? That's impressive.
Because the way they connect the characters and how, like, you play as Sarah, and how, like, you wake up in a hurry and you, like, walk around, you look at the TV, you see something's going down.
Yeah.
Something big is going down.
What is it? And we know, but she doesn't, which is terrifying for you to be a kid, and you wake up and it starts.
Yeah.
And it starts.
Joel
fast.
and Tommy knows. They both know.
And
well, not know, but
they don't
know
get it. That's for sure. They really don't get it.
They don't get it. Their brain is looking for multiple ways they can interpret this, and I think Joel kind of realizes it when their neighbor. What's that neighbor's name?
Jimmy.
Something like that.
It is Jimmy.
It is.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
I can't believe I remember that.
Oh yeah, it is.
Jimmy worked in the city. Oh man, that's why he got infected. Yeah. Well, the what's it called? Well, when it came to, like, come on, think of your words. I just had it too. Oh yeah. Originally, the idea was for you to be Joel, and you hear a noise in your backyard, and you go outside in your neighbor's house, and you see what's wrong, and you see the zombies. And then Neil Druckmann said that's too normal. Like, that, you see that. Yeah, that's Walking Dead stuff. Like, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's super.
That's what would happen to Joel. I mean, Rick in The Walking Dead, kind of. Like, oh, he wakes up. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a zombie? What is this? I'm like, well, why don't we do the little girl, his daughter? Oh, that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Because she can't fight. And then it really shows. Keep going.
I was about to say, she's completely defenseless. Like, she needs her dad, Joel, to protect her in a way. Of course, she's able to fend for herself, saying that she got the watch. I'm not sure if she actually got it from selling drugs.
She did not. That's a joke.
I know, but
that's a nice watch, man. I don't know.
Joel's a single dad. She got no one else.
When I was a kid, I took that so seriously. And that line is the most memorable line from this game.
Selling drugs.
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Yeah, I say hardcore.
I'll never forget that line till the day I die. I swear to God, that's just so memorable. But yeah.
And I like how Joel was so, like, content with it. He was like, okay.
Better start helping you help the mortgage then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. And especially since you really see how Joel is as a man. He, from the beginning, he'll do anything for his daughter. Jimmy comes into his house. Joel takes out his gun. There's no hesitation like, oh, I'm going to kill a guy. No. Oh, you're threatening my daughter? Stay back. You're dead. Immediately. No hesitation. Like, damn. Wow. That's the kind of guy Joel is. He'll do anything. And it's pretty impressive. And I'm like, oh, it's not impressive. It's pretty interesting. Because I couldn't say everybody's like that, but I'm sure there are people like that. Obviously, he's used a gun before. Hunting or something. He's from Texas, so I wouldn't be surprised. But then, as you run, you switch over to Joel and stuff, and then Sarah dies.
Whew.
the actor who plays Troy Baker, or Troy Baker who plays Joel. There's no actor that plays what the fuck. Troy Baker says that is the hardest scene in the whole game he had to shoot. It's because he had to go deep to his darkest moment ever, and he had to throw it all out on the table, and
You could definitely hear it.
yeah, and he was like,
You could definitely.
yeah, he's like, I'm ready for that. Well, well, wait for it. He's like, I'm ready for it. And then at the same time, he's thinking, wow, I'm going to show people how good of an actor I am. And he does it, and he gets really emotional, and he does it all. And then he's like, this. It was really like, I think the word's cathartic. Oh, I can't pronounce it. Cathartic moment. There we go. I sometimes I have problems pronouncing words. But and for him, and he was like, wow, this is really emotional. And then he hears the word cut, and he's like, wait, what the hell? Like, that was really, like, he couldn't believe it. He's like, but this is how it's going to be. He's got to keep shooting that scene. And at first it's like an emotional thing for him, and it's a big thing for him to do. And then it becomes challenging, because it's like, this is really painful now. Like, it hurts. Like, now he's feeling the pain. And they do it over and over and over again and over and over. Oh, cut, do it again. And they're done. They think, and the Druckmann says, okay, I think we got it. So months pass, and Troy Baker's on a smoke break, and he goes, he's just smoking, and Neil Druckmann comes out. He's like, oh, we're about to get ready to shoot the next scene, and Troy's like, oh, okay, cool, I'll be in a sec. And then Neil says, also, there's one more thing. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, oh, there's one more thing I need you to do. That's what Neil says. And he's like, oh sure, anything, boss. Yeah. He's like, we need to reshoot a scene. And he goes, okay, that's fine. What scene? And then Neil goes, well, and then he goes, no, you can't do this to me, not again. We can't. We got it. You said we got it. And he's like, no, we didn't. We have to do it again. So they do it again, and they do it over and over and over again. And Troy's playing the broken man, just crying, sobbing, And then Neil picks up after a while. He goes up to him, and he goes, cut. And he goes, hey, I'm sensing some resistance from you. And he goes, hell yeah, you're sensing some resistance. I have to do this over and over again, and this sucks. Like, this is painful. And Neil goes, well, see, what I'm saying is a broken man. He's like, yeah, that's what you want, right? He's like, no. Well, I want to see our step-by-step of what this character is showing. So, something bad happened. Oh my gosh, let me get to her. Okay, let me fix it. I'm trying to fix it. I can't fix it. She's dying. I'm broken. That's what he said. He said that to him. He's like, hey, that's what I want to see. And then Troy was like, Troy said, that was the moment I found out that Neil Druckmann was the best director ever. That's what he says. Because after that, they shot it. With that in his mind, they shot that scene, and that was it. They got it immediately, right after Neil said that. They got it exactly right, and it's what you see here in the game. And it's, oh my god, let me try to fix. Oh, I'm freaking out. Oh my god, she's dying, she's dead. I'm broken. Starts dying, like crying like crazy. It's just so good. Such a good story. If you watch you watch the podcast, right?
Yeah.
He talks about that. He's talked about it many times. I if you watch Retro Replay, which rest in peace.
I only watched a little bit of
that. Rest in peace, Troy Baker, leaving that he's not dead, but he left that gaming channel. But their playthrough, The Last of Us, is one of the best playthroughs I've ever watched of any game ever. Like, that's so good. But yeah, just that's one of the reasons why this moment is really strong for me, just from hearing that story and other stories like it from making this game. Yeah, but that was a long one for sure, talking about that one. But yeah, that's why I like it, man. It's good. Number 2, though. What is your number 2?
Number 2. Numero 2.
Number 2. What is it? I'm excited. I don't know what it is.
When Joel decides that he was going to take Ellie to the hospital and not Tommy. After the whole runaway scene.
Yeah, okay. So, I don't have that picture, but I could put this picture down. This picture.
Yeah. The one where she has the book or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the picture I have, actually.
How did I know?
I do not know, actually. That's pretty impressive. That's not the right one. Oh, I forgot about.
I feel like those scenes could kind of go hand in hand. When Joel says we're done, we're over, you're going with Tommy, and when they're riding on horseback and before they enter into Tommy's little settlement.
Right. Here it is. There it is, right there. I was having a hard time finding the photo.
They, it's kind of like you get more of a look into both internal struggles between Ellie and Joel, and how Joel is struggling between the thing with the daughter. He doesn't want to connect to anybody. He doesn't want to do that. He cannot see this girl die.
Mm-hmm.
He can't do that to himself again.
Right.
And then Ellie with, she can't lose Joel. She's been connected to so many people. She's lost so many people.
I'm gonna turn that
She
off. Sorry,
can't
real
lose
quick.
Joel.
My bad. You
Yeah.
keep going, but like there was a watermark on that, and I didn't see it, so I'm gonna turn that off. But you keep talking.
Oh,
Keep talking.
yeah. So it's like she can't lose Joel. Like what I was saying. She can't lose Joel, and she makes that apparent by when she's like, I've lost everyone except for effing you, and then he like pushes him, and I think that kind of puts it into Joel's mind. That's where it sparks. Where he's like, man, maybe I shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I shouldn't.
Right.
But after that, he says, we're done. We're over. You're going with Tommy. But when they're on horseback, right before they enter, he tells Tommy, where is this hospital again? And then after he tells him, he says, okay, I'll just need the supplies we'll need.
Yeah, take the horse back. Give the horse back to Tommy,
Yeah.
and they're like, and Tommy's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he's like, Ellie, give the horse back to Tommy. And then they're like, what? And then he says where they're going.
Tommy's a good guy, dude. I like Tommy a lot.
That's kind of a big scene to me, because that was Joel's exception, that he is going to take care of this girl.
Right. Mm-hmm.
At first, he was assigned that this was just a package. This was a mission for him. Now he's realized that it was a calling to him, that this is someone to fight for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
This is that someone to fight for.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Mm-hmm. I dig it.
That's what makes it my number 2.
Yeah, I like it. Sweet. My number 2 is, I forgot which number it was for you, but you could tell me. It is the draft scene.
That is number 4 for me.
That is number 4. So
yeah,
it's a little more than just the draft. It is like what you said before. Oh, Ellie seems a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ellie's innocence is fleeting. Like, it is almost gone. And Joel's talking her up, and she's not listening. So you go into I think it looks like a checkpoint or something, and you're trying to, you need to lift her up, and you need to, hey, Ellie, come jump up and do this and do that. And then they do this thing I just told you about. They subvert your expectations. She doesn't. You automatically think, when I go up, I push triangle to the wall. I'm supposed to lift her up. It's supposed to happen. You do it. You walk up, push triangle. Wait, where is she? She's not coming up. Then he goes, Ellie, and she's like, what? And he's like, hey.
She's like,
come do this. Like, this is what we do. Come on. And it's like, whoa, that's strange. That doesn't normally happen in a game. Like, that's kind of weird. So and God of War did something similar to that, and I really respect God of War for doing that. They obviously took a page out of Naughty Dog book. But yeah, so he pushes Ellie up, and then he's like, okay, grab the ladder. Still not listening. And you have to push triangle like 2 times for her to do it. And he's like, Ellie. And she's like, oh yeah, sorry. And then she's pushing it down, and she goes, holy crap. And then she drops it, and then she starts running, and then you're like, oh no, what's wrong? And you climb up the ladder, and it's the drafts.
You're like, Ellie.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, drafts.
G-Ray.
And it's like, here's a nice moment of nature taking over everything. And it's like, wow, this is nice. And you go out, you stand there, and Joel's like, we don't have to do this, right? We could just go back, like, be done with all this. We go back, and she's like, go back where? And he's like, go back to Tommy's. Like, like, we don't have to do this. And she goes, no, this is, Sam and Tess. This can't be for nothing. There's a reason why I'm here, and I'm gonna do it. And then this is the best part. Joel looks out. She walks through that door, and Joel looks out where the drafts are, and they start to walk out of view. And that is the fleeting of innocence for Ellie. Her innocence is gone completely. She is not an innocent girl anymore. She is what she is now. Matured.
Yeah, she completely matured. Like, her the way she thinks compared to, like, let's say compared to the other kid her age in this game, Sam. The way she thinks compared to Sam is completely different.
Because like we were talking about, Henry wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
give Sam the option to get put in a
Exactly.
position where he had to make
She
a choice like that. He's still throwing bricks and bottles like Ellie was at the beginning of the game. Well, at that
mm-hmm.
time, Ellie's shooting her own gun. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just yeah. But that, oh my god, this moment was again another moment I didn't understand till I got older, and it took me a while. But once I saw it, I've never seen it any clearer than I have
Mm-hmm.
now. It's like wow, it's great. Yeah, that's my number two, and that's just so good. I love talking about that scene. But now it is time for my honorable mentions. Okay.
Honorable
My
mentions. Oh,
honorable
okay, yeah,
mentions.
I'm down.
So my first honorable mention is Bill sees
Mm-hmm.
Frank. Because then that's how you learn of partner. And if you're a smart guy, if you're a smart person and you're old enough, you'd know, oh, he doesn't just mean partner. That's his ex-boyfriend, pretty much. Or husband, or I don't know what it was. And when I was younger, I didn't know that, but it was really close to making it on the list, but it didn't make it. But which is okay. The next one is Joel gets stabbed. This was so hard not to put in this. I would really wanted to do this because this was gut wrenching. This was like, oh my god, he's stabbed. But I thought there was bigger moments in this. I was like, I don't know. I feel like it's good, but it's not up there. You didn't put it on your list at all, did you?
Uh,
Never mind. I'm gonna shut up. All right. Henry on the beach. Henry betrays you.
mhm.
You get
Oh, I
mad.
was about, yeah. One of my honorable mentions is probably when they get Joel gets tossed into the river, and then Ellie's also in the river. He's chasing after.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
hmm That's a
yeah, I think
combination
that
of
that
all
was
that,
good.
of Henry leaving, then
Mhm.
them doing that, because it's like
Yeah.
we're mad at Henry. We're like, hey, why would he do that? What a dick! And then he goes, hey, what would you have done? And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, all right,
Mm-hmm.
Henry, I'll let you pass. I feel you. Like that. That's pretty. That makes sense. You know, what would you have done? What if it was your girl? What if it was switched? Would you have saved me? And thinking,
Mm-hmm.
like you think, yeah, I would have, but then you're like, but with Joel, and you're like, oh, I don't think he would have. I think he would have left him. Yeah. So, but you can't say because he wasn't in the situation. But Joel sees it in his eyes. You see it in Joel's eyes. He's like, oh yeah, you're probably right. So yeah, that's a good one. And then finally for me, it's Tess sacrifice. I like Tess, but nothing
Yeah, I was really contemplating on putting that on my list, but it's more of a prologue thing, and like you were saying, it's a tutorial.
tutorial. There's not a
Tutorial
moment with me with Tess. I love Tess a lot. Like she's awesome,
thing.
awesome. There's not a moment in the game where I'm like, yeah, she's like my favorite character. Oh yeah, she has the best. This she does this moment's so great. It's like this is the best moment she
Mm-hmm.
has, and it's a good moment, but it's definitely not the best moment in the game or in the top 10 for me. Yeah, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. Do you have any other honorable mentions that
Mm,
besides those that aren't on your
um.
list?
Well, I never had the Ellie saving Joel and on my list, so I think that's another honorable
Oh, I
for
got you.
me. That's an honorable mention for me, but for you, it's on your list.
It's on my list.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
no,
good.
that's not really.
But now it's time. It is time for the number one spot. What is your number one spot in this game? What is it? What is
When
it?
Joel is injured at the hospital, when he suffers a close to fatal wound with the rebar after going hand in hand with that.
This shocked me. I did not think this was going to be your number one. 'Cause I thought,
This was my favorite one. I
did it kill you when you played it? Where you're like, God.
Oh my gosh, it stuck with me. Every time I saw a piece of rebar anywhere, I was like, oh,
It's so funny because
oh
that
my
same thing happens to
god.
Rick in The Walking Dead. Spoiler, but whatever.
Oh,
I
like
told you
I
about
get
that though. Yeah.
flashbacks. I get flashbacks, and it it's a separation between Joel and Ellie because Joel is not able. He is not able at all.
Yeah, he's
It,
dying. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, he's pretty much dying. Um, you could see the pathway opens up for Ellie to become a leader and become able to not really show Joel, but help Joel out. Not really repay Joel. I, there's just so many layers on how this can open up in many different ways, because you can see in the DLC of Left Behind that she takes on a lot.
Yeah.
Like going into that mall trying to find medicine, and you get like the double story with her and freaking forgot her name again.
Riley. Ha. Ha.
Riley. I
Yeah.
always forget her name.
Mhm.
It's literally like the DLC is so good, and I always forget her name.
Like 2 hours if you're fast.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. I dig it. Yeah, no. It's a good moment. It didn't make it for me though. I just thought it's really gut wrenching, but it was like it didn't. It's a moment will always remember, but it's not a moment that'll always stick with me in certain in life, if that makes sense. If I'm like thinking about it, because a lot of these moments, like they're like these are stuff that like like they help you in life. Like they really they make you think about certain parts of life and how everything works. It's pretty awesome. I really like that. But do you want to know what my number one favorite scene is in this game?
What is
Do you think you know what it is? I want you to guess.
I don't know, because we've gone over so many scenes and we've talked about so
Yeah,
many
I know
things
it. You can't. It's hard to remember, right?
I can't pinpoint it.
Yeah. So this is my number one scene. It is a mixture of a lot. It's a long. It is the majority. It is, I'd say, 3/4 of, which is crazy, is a fall. And it is not, and the ending where you get stabbed, I didn't count that in. And it's crazy because fall is not my favorite season, but it has my favorite moment or moments in the entire game. It's kind of weird how that works, but I'm going to start here. So Joel finds Tommy, right? So let me pull up a picture of and then he's the reason he's there. They've been looking for each other. So Joel talks to Tommy. He's like, okay, I need to talk to you. And he goes, okay, what's up? Like, why are you here? Like, I'm glad you're here, but why are you here? And he goes, so this girl's immune. And he goes, immune to what? And he goes, come on, Tommy, you know what I'm talking about. And then he's like, yeah, right. He's like, no, trust me, I'm serious. And he goes, okay, so what do you need? And he's like, he's like, I need to know where the fireflies are. And he goes, I'm not with the fireflies anymore. He's like, oh, but you know where they are. And he goes, okay, I can help you. And he's like, yeah, okay, can you take the girl off my hands and then give me some supplies? I'll leave and I'll go my own way. You help her, you get the guns, come back, give it to your people. And he goes, no, I'm not doing that. I'll give you supplies, you can take her, but I'm not doing it. And he goes, this is for your damn cause. Like, I'm doing this for you. And he's like, I didn't ask you to. And he's like, I give you the cure for humanity, and you play the pissy little brother. And he's like, look, I can't do that. I have responsibilities. Like, then get one of your friends, your born again friends, to do it. And he's like, no, I'm not. No, they have families too. I can't do that. And then he's like, this is how you repay me. He's just saying, he's like, I need this and stuff. Like, this is how you repay me after all those years. And he's like, he's trying to say something clearly, but because Joel's making all these excuses, saying all this stuff, but he's not really getting to the point. And Tommy's like, what are you doing? Like, why? And he's like, oh, this is how you repay me for all those years. And he goes, oh, those were nightmares. Another backstory of how like Joel would do anything to survive. It's like, oh, I had nightmares from those years. And he's like, you survived because of me. And he's like, it wasn't worth it. I love that. So good. I'll switch that too.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it. Yeah, like I don't care, like for real. And then and he's like, this is whatever. Like they're pissed, and then like the bandits come. Oh crap! Here they come, the bandits. Like this is great. What a good way to interrupt the conversation. And so they come when everything's cleared up, everything's fine. They see Ellie and Tommy. I told you about this. Tommy sees Ellie Joel talk to Ellie, and Ellie's like, this guy came in with a big shotgun, he blasted in, and we jumped over this, and then he's like, okay, but are you hurt? And then she's like, no, I'm fine. And then Tommy goes, God damn it, like, I see what this is now. I see what Joel's trying to communicate with me when he says, Tommy, I need this. Because he's like, I cannot do this again. I'm drawing a relationship. Ooh, oh my God, my mom is inviting so many people over right now. I need this, man. Like, please,
Yeah.
my brother, we're brothers. I know I haven't been good to you. Like, he knows it too. He's like, but he won't say it. He's like, just do this thing for me, please. And he goes, like, this is, I wish I kind of put Tommy where Marlene's spot is now because of how his understanding of Joel, but it's okay. It is what it is. And he's like, this is, like, he's like, I got to do this. And so he talks to his wife, and then Joel's sitting down waiting for Tommy to finish talking to his wife. He's like, I got to do this for my brother. I got to do it because he can't take it. Like, that's blood, you know? And then Ellie sees this, and she's like, oh, I know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Joel. And then
That's why she got angry, and then she
and she took the horse. She rode off. And Joel and Tommy were like, what? Why'd you take the horse? So they go and they find her. They fight some bandits. The most forgettable enemies in the entire game. And then they go to this house, and she's there, and she's reading this book. And
she was reading a diary.
And that scene, that little individual scene, like, not this whole section is my favorite, but the individual scene of Joel and Ellie talking in that room is my favorite scene. Like, just scene, like, cinematic scene in the whole game for me. People are like, that's the biggest scene. I'm like, that's the biggest scene because
I could completely understand that.
Yeah, I'm like, because the connection there is building, and this is the height of their connection.
That's why mine's number 2. Like the number 2.
This was your number 2, right?
Joints. Yeah, the joint system. I mean, the joint scenes between when they're having that conversation in the house, when Ellie's reading that journal, all the way to where he is deciding that he's going to take her to the hospital.
Exactly. I'm gonna try to pull up it'll be fine. I don't really care. I'm gonna pull up the photo of Ellie, in the room. I always like lose it. Here it is. There's a watermark, but I don't care. So Ellie's like, oh, this is what mattered to people, and then Joel's like, get up, let's go. And the classic, let's just go, let's keep going, going.
Yeah.
He's like, stop, we're done, we're not going right now, we're staying here, we're talking.
Exactly.
And I'm not going with Tommy. And he's like, no, you're gonna go with Tommy. And she doesn't fully get it. And then she does actually, but she's not telling him. She gets it. But Joel's just saying like, oh no, you'll be better with Tommy. He knows what he's doing. But he won't admit that I can't. He won't. He will not. He hasn't admitted it yet. And then she's like, look, man, I don't feel safe with, like, I know what happened to Sarah. All right, I'm not Sarah. Okay. And he goes, oh, you're on some mighty thin ice. And then
you're treading on some mighty thin ice.
Yeah, and then he's like, you don't know what loss is, like, but she's like, oh, don't do that, because you've lost one person, or technically, if you think about it, one real person that you really, really cared about. I've lost multiple, and it's just, I just take it differently than you do. That's pretty much what she's saying. Like, I just can understand it.
Yeah.
And so everyone's either died or left me, but everybody but you're the only one I have left. Don't do this to me. And he's like, because then he's like, because I'll feel alone. And then when her biggest fear is being alone, she tells that to Sam, and she says, I'll feel more scared when you're not here. And he when she pushes him and all that, that's a strong moment right there. He'll get a little teary eyed, and he in his mind he's like, oh my God, I can't.
I'll just be more scared.
Yeah. In his mind, he's like, oh, I can't do this. I can't leave her. But then there's that little voice in the back of his head who's like, no, it'll be like Sarah again. Don't do this. And so he says, you're right. You're not my daughter, and I sure as hell ain't your dad. We are going our separate ways. Tommy bursts in. Then they fight. Then they're on the horses, and that voice of his head, he fights, and on the horsebacks, like when they're on horseback after they fight, he's like, he's fighting the voice in the back of his head. He's like, no, we're done. It's time that I care for someone again. And he cares about her.
Exactly.
And that's
finding that person to fight for.
Exactly. He finds that reason to live again, because surviving is just not enough. And I think he understands that now, which is why he wouldn't let her die. Yeah. And that is my number 1 spot of the entire game.
Got dang.
So good. So good. And
what?
man.
Damn.
That's just
What an amazing game.
super good.
I feel like I gotta run through and throughout the
This is like
entire
a
game just
recap
by
if we want to go
yeah.
like yeah. And I'm playing just the gameplay just to get ready for the gameplay.
Hmm.
I'm paying attention to the story a little bit. Don't need to because I did this and I've been looking over and over.
Yeah.
Also watching people's reactions, trying to see if they understand. Some people have really good reactions. A certain
Some
person,
people do not.
a certain person has a really bad
No.
reaction. Not gonna say who. Just out of all the people that could react that way, it has to be that person. Like really, it just kind of
Come on
it's
now,
kind of
dog.
BS. But besides the point. To finish this off, let's talk
Mhm.
about theories. Any theory? What theories have we not talked about together? Maybe I've come up with some theories, some more theories. But give me a theory, man. Just throw some theories out there. I'm gonna pull back up the main title.
Oh yeah. I don't really have like a huge theory. I honestly am waiting for this game to guide me. Like I am like of course I have a lot of things racing through my head because of course like there were spoilers that came out. I never saw them personally. Um
I saw.
I saw a glimpse of one and I saved myself from it, but it did involve Joel, but I already kind of had that feeling that he might be one to go.
Yeah, of course. That was. I think that was expected.
Yeah.
I think I know. I think of what I've seen on accident, like little tiny spoilers.
Mhm.
Uh, Nothing like blatant, like this is how he dies. But I think I know the
Mhm.
way he dies, and I think we've talked about it. I don't want to say anything though, because I don't want
A little bit, yeah. Just in case somebody that is watching this
to.
doesn't know.
Yeah. So
But I think everybody does have kind of had that idea that he might be the one
pass.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I actually think I want to talk about a character named Abby, who,
Mhm.
if my feelings are correct, you play as her. Possibly
You
trans.
do?
As far, it looks like you do. Because remember when like in the trailer when she has the hammer and she's with the other two and
Mhm.
there's no Ellie there. I'm just gonna say that right now. So and she's like, "Oh, get ready. You gotta be playing as her."
Yeah.
And obviously, or not obviously, I don't know. I have a feeling she's transgender, which I've said before, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of evidence that supports that. And I'm,
I think she is. I don't think
I'm I think I'm
girls,
99%
I don't think girls
positive.
without steroids are that beefed, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I'm 99% positive she is.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say that right out the
Mhm.
gate. Nothing will
Yeah,
change that for me.
for sure.
Something else I noticed though, I did rewatch the trailers because I
Mhm.
don't consider those spoilers. They're showing me something they want to show me. That's not a spoiler.
Mhm.
I don't take that as a spoiler. And something they showed me was that when she got saved by those two other girls, the Asian chicks, those girls are
Mhm.
scars. You remember what scars are, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Those girls are scars. I could tell because they have scars on their face of exactly what everybody else
Mhm.
does. And they say, "Hey, should we help her?" I'm like, she's one of them, right there. I'm like, "Oh, she's WLF," or
Mhm.
yeah, she's WLF. I'm like,
Mhm.
"Holy crap, she's a bad guy. They're bad guys. Ellie's not going to be friends with them. No way, because
Mhm.
they're bad guys. All of them are. I wouldn't say the scars are necessarily. Those two look like they're trying to escape, but
Mhm.
WLF. Ooh, Ellie doesn't like them. So I have a feeling you're going to be playing as Abby, a bad guy, a bad person.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Mhm.
a bad guy. I just meant bad guys in general. Like, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So that and I have a feeling Abby's going to kill Joel. That's my theory. I think it's likely. I think that's why they wouldn't care. I don't think you'd. I don't think they'd make the connection if it didn't happen. I'm gonna be pissed the hell off though if he loses in a fist fight though. I swear to God.
Oh, for
Joel's
real.
taken down more people than I could ever imagine. He's getting old, but I don't. That has not affected him lately.
How old will he be
He's over
for?
50. He's 52.
Over 50. Over
49,
50.
48,
That's
49, 52, 52. He's 53 or 54.
50.
That's
Okay, so he's not.
yeah.
He's still got some juice in the tank.
Considering his physique, he
Yeah.
can take some. He'll have a toll on him. It won't be easy. Like obviously as it has been in the last 25 years,
Yeah.
it gets harder and it takes a toll after 25 years. Your hands start to hurt. Your body is slowly. Every human's body is decaying over time.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
so he might not have the upper hand in this situation. So we'll see what happens. But
What will really kill me though is if Ellie has to witness
what would
what
suck is
what
if he
might happen.
dies and she comes upon him already dead. That would be the worst. I
Oh.
would. God, I wouldn't know if I'd like that. I think I'd be pretty.
And at the end of one of the trailers, you could see a hand on Ellie when she's like crying. She's got blood all over her face. You could see a hand drop down, but
I
I've
think that
been
that's
looking
Dina
at the
probably.
hand. It,
Can we say
yeah,
that?
it's
Agree that's
not
Dina.
Joel's hand.
Can we agree that's Dina? That's probably Dina.
Yeah.
Not sure,
Because Joel's hand is not that feminine.
but whatever happened there, dude, that was aggressively violent. Whatever's gonna happen there, because
For real,
a lot of blood. And if it is Joel, damn. Yeah, my collector's edition comes with Dina's bracelet, and I call it Ellie's bracelet because I don't care for Dina that much. She wears it during the game, so it's because that's stupid. No, I'm not gonna say it, but I hope Dina's all right character in the game. What other theories do I have? Other theories? I don't know. Ellie is 19 years old, and the director said that a big thing. When you feel like you're a teenager, like an older teenager, you feel like you're invincible, which is true for some people. Obviously not everyone, but you think you could do whatever you want. And I think that's exactly what's happening with Ellie. She's like, I'm going to kill every last one of them, which is an unrealistic goal.
Yeah.
For a normal person. For a normal person. Ellie is clearly not a normal person because she is killing a lot of people by herself.
Of course she's not.
And she's stronger, she's faster, she's smarter, she's more skilled, and she knows different ways. I can't wait to use the stealth system because Joel's a big.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah.
And like all the new mechanics they have in the game, all the new agility things that she could do, like.
Yeah. Well, Joel's a big, freaking. Oh, oops! I accidentally clicked out of the OBS.
He's a hunk.
He's a big guy. He's stealth. He has to use stealth. But if he had the choice, he wishes he didn't have to. Like, I know that.
He's a beefcake.
Yeah, for sure. My stream is being kind of weird. I hope it's Is it okay?
It's looking alright right now. Yeah, it's looking alright right now.
Because I don't know why. To me, it looks like it's resetting every 30 seconds.
Oh, it is.
Oh shit.
Oh no, it just restarted.
It should be fine. It should be fine.
Yeah, it like stopped and
I just hope it saves, but we did it, so that's all I care about. Yeah, no, but if Joel, if what the hell were we just talking about?
Ellie being an older able body.
That's right.
She's more agile.
If she can use those, I can't wait to use her skills.
Joel,
those are the skills I want to use in that situation. Crawling through the grass, crawling under stuff. Like crawling between stuff.
Right in that beginning trailer when she was like crawling through the grass, I was like, "Oh,
this is gonna be good."
Okay.
Crawling under vehicles, making your own arrows. That's what really got me. That's what's gonna make the bow such a good weapon because now you're gonna want to use it. Before I didn't feel the need to use it. Now I feel like I should use it. I should be using it for sure.
Yeah.
Especially since you have explosive arrows, which get a group of people together, throw a bottle,
and I was like, ooh.
Throw a bottle, and then get that arrow out. You're golden. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, no, I was It kind of reminded me of Rambo.
Totally, 100%. Did you see the new
Rambo?
one?
Yeah.
The new one? The newest one, Last Blood.
Rambo, Last Blood. Yeah.
That one. Really good movie. Enjoyed it. Obviously not like a good movie, but the action was fun. Yeah.
There was only like 15 minutes of real action, but it was pretty good.
I loved it though. It was so good. But yeah, the crafting's a lot better. The game, I just can't wait for Seattle. This is something I haven't really talked about. Seattle, the world of Seattle is awesome. The location is cool. Everything is really cool. Obviously,
the weather. I love the weather.
Yeah, the raininess. We only got to see that once in fall. We don't get to see that again. And the way it looks in the game is just dark, and it's awesome. And I can't wait to play it tomorrow.
I think rainy has got to be the best. Oh yeah, I forgot it was tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget. Oh my god, I'm so pumped. I'm just so worried something's gonna get in my way and be like, oh yeah, you won't be able to play it tomorrow. There's not much doing that'll say that right now. Everything seems pretty like we're like in the clear, but like
smooth sailing.
Yeah, it seems like you're smooth sailing, but you never know. Some things can change. I'm just really worried because everything's going really good so far. Yeah. So I just really hope everything works out, and I'm excited also to see the new there's enemy types for humans now, which was not a thing before. Did you notice that?
Enemy types?
Enemy. So depending on which faction you're fighting, they react differently.
Oh.
I did talk about it in one of my reaction videos.
Oh wait. I think I remember cuz I remember them describing that one's more militarized because they took over the military that was
Yes, the WLF. They do that.
yes,
They they are
WLF.
like fireflies. So
Mhm.
the way I could connect to them is they're more like normal enemies from The Last of Us, the first game. They are. Besides one thing, their weaponry, they have more guns. That's the biggest thing. And the other,
They have technology
they have
too.
technology. And the second thing, dogs. Dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs are gonna be
That's
cool.
true.
People are like, oh, I don't want to kill the dog. I don't care. I'll kill as many dogs as they throw at me.
Yeah,
Those are
bro.
not nice dogs. Like for
I
real.
like that mechanic that they put with the scent
You always
trail.
got to keep moving. You can't stay in one place.
That's
Smart.
so
Keeping you on your feet
that's
and
so
always on
nice.
edge. I love it. That's so smart. So smart. Obviously, the gameplay is definitely like twice as good as it used to be. You know.
Mhm.
Other than that, what else? Oh yeah, sorry. The scars or the Xerophites. I think that's what they're called. The Seraphites.
Mhm.
Um, they are sneaky. They're stealthy. Not something we've seen before. The only thing we've ever seen be stealthy is David.
Yeah, yeah.
They use whistles to contact each other. You don't kill one. You attack one. Don't kill it. It'll whistle and attract everyone in like a wide mile radius towards you.
Okay, so that's kind of scary.
You got to be stealth with them, hardcore. Enemies will react differently.
Yeah.
You know,
So this next game is definitely going to require you to use a lot more of your skills,
all your
not just
skills.
go loud
Oh,
all
I'm
the
gonna
time.
punch every guy I see, which was you could do that. They said, oh, it's not a smart idea, but you can do that. You can't now.
Mhm.
You have to use all your options. So, when it comes to the scars I can't wait to fight. There's a large enemy type for them with hammers,
Mhm.
and you cannot
Ooh.
go head to head with them. You can try, and it can work, but you're gonna have like no health after, as we saw in one of the gameplay trailers. Not
Mhm.
a good idea, but super super awesome looking guys to fight. And then of course the scars, like I said, they're sneaky. They whistle and stuff. And they use also use the nature to hide and stuff, and they use
Foliage.
they use bows and arrows, and they use melee weapons. They have guns once in a while, but like that's not their main purpose.
Yeah.
They like to use the quiet weapons, and really religious and all that, which is pretty cool. But what was another point I wanted to bring up?
The religious group.
Yeah, the religious group. Yeah, that's pretty good. But when they're fighting, the way they fight, they whistle. Yes, the whistling. So, apparently, if you kill people in a certain area, and they find, oh shit, no, that's not what I wanted to talk about. I already said that. No, if the WLF, I don't know about the scars, but I know that the WLF, everybody, they're friends. They all know each other.
Mhm.
If you kill a
Yeah, I
certain
remember.
person,
Yeah.
that they know each other, they call up by each other's names. The voice actors don't change when you fight them. Sometimes they do that. No, and they're all different. And there's women enemies too, which is cool because that wasn't always a thing.
Mhm.
Only zombies were women and men.
Yeah.
So if you kill, for example, two people might be husband and wife. Kill the husband, kill the wife. Either way, one of them's gonna get much more angrier and more aggressive, harder to fight. Awesome.
Mhm.
That I've never seen that. Like I see examples of that. Like, oh, he's like enraged. Like that's not what I mean though. These guys, they're just people getting mad, and they're ready to fight you.
Showing emotions of real people.
And it's like you're not just killing NP. Like these aren't just players. You're killing people, dude. Like reviewers have said that everything Ellie does in this game, you see it as wow. I can't like this is like she's doing a lot. She's not just surviving. She's like just killing these people. And does she have to? It doesn't look like this is a choice she's making. She doesn't have to kill these people, but she is because she feels like she needs to, or she wants to.
Yeah.
And it's just really brutal, and oh man, I just can't wait. But you know what? I think I'm losing my voice, so I think that's it for today. I think that's good. We're all set for tomorrow.
We kind of touch on everything.
Everything I could think of,
I pretty much Damn, it was really true with The Last of Us Part 2 hype.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
Ooh,
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock tomorrow, or 2:30 or
2 o'clock
something.
tomorrow.
I'll be streaming it with Cayden. He'll be over. I got my webcam all set up, and we'll do it. It'll be sick.
Oh, sounds amazing.
I need to clean my
Cannot
room though.
wait.
Get it ready. It'll be fantastic. I just hope it doesn't take too
Gonna
long
be
to download.
legendary.
You know.
I don't think it should. It's probably gonna be a fat game, but I don't think
It'll be fat, but there's definitely no updates yet. So
Yeah,
by the time you get here, it'll probably be close to done or done.
for sure.
But that'll be it for today. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm probably gonna watch it when it's posted because I don't have any tags on, so I don't think anybody saw this, which is fine because they can see. I'll just put tags on the actual video after. That'll be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Please check out my Doom playlist of my playthrough through that. That's really fun. Haven't finished it yet. I got one more video to make on that, but that'll be made probably sometime next week. So